That's how it goes. It's been doing that for a while now, and I'm glad it's once a month because anyone can jump in. It's not, it's not over the top nuts. It's just the right amount of crazy that we could sit there and go, she's really milking this for what it's worth, and she actually probably believes some of it too. That's why it's so amazing to watch. It's more like in awe of her existence as a human. It's like, you're a human. You think. You have words come out of your mouth. How do you do that?
How do you do that? You do that, woman.
You are amazing. I wasn't expecting this from such a thing. Anyway, let's get going. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Smudcast number 118. Robocop! Exclamation mark with Maggie Mae Fish, and this is what we do once a month. Guys haven't figured it out from the title. It's a Maggie Mae Fish video, and oh boy, fun and jollies for everyone here. It's the time of the month. What can you do? It's like a tradition now on Smudcast.
So by time of the month, you mean that Smudcast gets on when Smudcast watches Maggie Fish, it's the equivalent of being on a period because it's pain.
It's a combination of pain and comedy and amazement of life.
Dunn, shut the fuck up.
Never.
So yesterday we watched, what was it? We watched Tonald Loke do a catastrophe in the kitchen with a sandwich. I think it was a sandwich. I'm not sure. He made a bunch of other things, like chips and salads, which he put salads on the sandwich. And there was much gnashing of teeth and crying on our side of the screen, at least for me. I know a lot of you guys bailed, but that's totally acceptable.
I was doing something else while watching.
Yeah, it was longer than I thought it would be because I could not understand what he was doing half the time. And I've never seen people do that. I actually remember my recipe for what was it? Stripped ribs? I did ribs like 4
Message
days?
coming in.
It must have been 4 days ago.
Patching it through.
And the sauce I made was so basic for ribs. This is it. You get some water, you get some soy sauce, you get some salt, you get some pepper, and you get some garlic. That's it. And you do the same thing that Mr. Tonal did for the same amount of time. It'll be just as tender without wasting, half your pantry on vegetables. So anyway, not important. Whew, I'm fine. Had lunch. Everything's good. So we can get on with the video. Alrighty, everyone's in the watch together?
Yep.
Okay. It's 21 minutes and a half of Miss Maggie Mae Fish. Let's
Wait,
go.
there's 4 of us here, and there's 5 people in the watch together.
Yeah, it could be a lurking LiteratureDevil. It could be a lurking Glib. We don't know.
LiteratureDevil's
Maybe it's Maggie.
No. No. She's like Beetlejuice. You say her name 3 times, she appears. Oh.
No!
I would honestly love to have a discussion with Miss Fish. It would be exceptionally entertaining.
Speaking of Maggie, I actually watched like 75% of this video. I don't remember much because it was like about a month ago that I watched this. So, yeah.
All right, that's fine. I mean, I only watched the first few minutes. I can't remember it when it was given to us, and we have all these, like, we have suggestions from months and months ago. We've just forgot about. So, yeah. So let's get going with the super chats. John Lemley, Fish Cop. Oh, I see what you're doing there. All right. Yes, Robocop, Fish Cop. Alrighty. Joe Crazy, sup my amigos. What is Fishy Chen up to now? I don't remember.
Something fishy.
Yeah, it's always fishy with her. Yeah. Okay, let's watch an 80s classic. Is it a 1980s classic or was it 90s? Can't remember.
No, it was 80s.
80s, yeah.
It was 80s.
Good old
like
80s.
early 80s, like 82, 83, I think.
Wow. Okay, that's really 80s. Okay.
Yeah, I think anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well, I remember from my childhood. I just don't know when exactly. So here's Mike Testa, Kingdom Hearts with Maggie as the protagonist dad.
Oh.
I'm trying to think about
horrifying.
That. I think she could pull it off. I think she has the voice to do Disney character princess thing.
I could see her being like a side character, an NPC.
Yeah, she could do it.
Well, considering she's already an NPC, it wouldn't be too bit out of it an ask.
Well, I doubt I'll ever play it if she ever does it. So if she ever gets that gig, more power to her. Why not? Whoo, how'd you get going?
Robocop! I never really used to get the 80s. It seemed like just a lot of cocaine and hair. But then I saw Robocop, and I saw something more through that hair. I saw an incredible film. We've all heard about its anti-corporate message and its ultra-violence. But let's dig deeper, put on our film school hats, and ask how the visual grammar, editing, and pacing function in Robocop. Now here's a list of things I like about Robocop. The visual...
Wait. Did you say we're going to do one thing and now you're just listing things you like? What is that about?
And we're off.
Hey, let's change the topic
Off to the
instantly.
races.
Thanks, Maggie.
I just exploded.
I'm hearing a lot of static. Is that me or you guys? What is that?
It might be me.
By Beta.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't think hitting your mic is going to.
Yeah, just use push to talk.
Okay, see if I can switch over to that.
It would just, well, you don't have to use it, but it's recommending because whenever you want to talk, you hold the button, you say your bit, and everything else is silent, so you don't have to worry about muting your mic. I think it's easier. You don't have to do it. Anyway, let's get going.
Between Officer Lewis and Murphy. From the first moment that we meet Officer Lewis, she is a visual and symbolic match for Murphy. Their hair, their complexion, their build, and especially their attitude.
Why don't you drive?
They're equals.
Is she
Murphy
already
and Lewis
starting
are
shipping?
Two peas in a pod.
No. No, they're just saying they look very similar. They act very similar. They're partners.
No, she started shipping already.
No. This is totally normal. She's making observations. I wish she would add the setting.
Okay. You saw what she did with fucking Obi-Wan and Padme.
Okay, that's something else. Okay, that is a weird, strange thing she does. This is just, hey, we're in a weird world, war-torn Detroit where there's all this police brutality thing going on, or whatever. The story was Robocop. I can't recall. So no. She's just making simple observations and saying how similar these characters are, regardless of their gender, which is true.
I think maybe it's the equality thing. I think it's the equality thing that's basically the man is not treated as superior to the woman that she likes, I suppose.
Well, when you have a gun, I think that's kind of the deal. Yeah.
Well, no, because she's not talking about the equality thing. She's talking about, like, oh, they're equal. Not equal, sorry. They're perfect for each other because they both have the same attitude. They both have the same hair. They both have the same build.
Yeah, they're close enough. I think they're fine. It's a simple observation. I won't hold that against her. She's going to get weirder, I'm sure. We'll talk about that.
Fast forward where Robocop starts questioning his past and Lewis confronts him, we see this shot. Lewis looks directly into the camera, directly into Robocop's visor, as she says,
Murphy, it's you.
Because Murphy's looking directly at Lewis, who is a visual match for him as she fills the frame, she functions as a mirror. She is the it to which Murphy is identifying. This is
I don't think she's a mirror.
It's an interesting way of looking at it, but I would have to say not really. It could be. I mean, when you're talking about a mirror, you're looking at something about yourself. I think she's referring to the past as opposed to a mirror. So
no, because she just said that she's got the same hair, the same build as everything as him.
The same type of hair, but not the same style, obviously. Same colors, close enough, I guess. Builds a bit off.
They don't look the same.
Message coming in.
To look at side characters as mirrors is fine. I don't mind that. To look at antagonists as mirrors is also fine. But that's not clear enough for me to say,
Message coming in.
This is a mirror.
Patching it through.
No, it's just his partner, and he can't remember her. That's it. She's seeing much more than there is, which is interesting. I wouldn't agree, but that's fine.
I wouldn't call it interesting. I'd call it projection.
Yes, that's part of it, but this is the extension of saying because they look similar, therefore they are a mirror of each other. And I don't mind that characterization. I don't mind that description. You can see that in the stories all the time, but I just don't see it literally the way she sees it. So I'm not, again, this is not a big deal. I think it's okay. And it's just Maggie starting something off small, and we'll build our way up to wherever she's going with it. Joe Crazy, Robocop would be one hell of a vibrator, Shiny. Why are you directing that to Shiny specifically? I'm kind of curious.
Because I was bringing up Maggie Mae Fish's shipping.
Okay, that's interesting. Huh.
That's the only thing I've said. So
yeah, I wonder how Joe jumped onto vibrator. I don't know. Interesting idea there, Joe. Okay, Mariner1712. Oh boy, I can't wait to see a totally not awful breakdown of one of my favorite films of all times. It might happen. We don't know. I don't remember the video. It could be absolutely amazing.
Message coming in.
It could be simple as pie,
Patching it through.
right? Maggie Mae, you never know. Jake the Surgeon. Oh God, dang it! This dopey Bint. Bint. She's a gem. That Maggie Mae.
Key moment in Request to regain his humanity, empathy, and identity. It's incredibly rare for a male action hero to have an equal female counterpart, especially because she's acting as a mirror for Murphy and not a fetish object. And does
Whoa, slow down there, slow down. Okay.
Those are two separate things. Like, so first she's talking about equality, and then she's talking about as a mirror, and then to say that she prefers this character because she's not a sex object and she's a mirror instead.
All right, let's imagine that his partner was a black woman, tall, huge, and twice the size. Let's say that. Would she still be a mirror to Murphy? Probably not. But she would still represent the thing he lost, which was his partner, his humanity, his camaraderie, the lifestyle he had. That would where we look to that partner or that lady as part of his life he lost. So I think I get what she's trying to say. Mirror is just the wrong descriptor, I think. Everything else is fine. Well, aside from calling, she's not a sex object. Like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she's a hot cop or just a semi-attractive cop. It doesn't matter to the story. Tyler Preston. Fun fact, Robocop's design was inspired by Space Sheriff Gavin of Metal Heroes franchise. Really? How long ago is that? That's got to be some pretty ancient stuff.
Also in Darth Vader. Come on, Smud.
Darth Vader and Robocop? I don't know.
Have you not seen the Remarkable Republican video where he literally says that Darth
Message
Vader is
coming
a
in.
ripoff of Robocop?
Wow.
I wish I were joking.
I know. I guess
wish
I
were
haven't.
joking, but I'm not.
Wait a second. Star Wars came out in the 70s. How did we get to that?
Remarkable Republican is ironically one of the dumbest men on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
He gets
I think
basic
wasn't
right.
Remarkable Republican supposed to be a parody? Like, it's an unofficial parody.
No, he makes the exact same arguments when he's live.
I'm trying to remember someone.
Like, yeah.
No, but I remember someone ended up finding out that he also had another channel, which or at least it was someone else. It was one of the extreme right wing guys, and then they said like really left wing things on that other channel. So then the only thing left to assume was that the Remarkable Republican was putting up an act this entire time.
I think that's Knobs as well.
No, that bullshit. No, that bullshit isn't the one which was faking it.
Really?
Because
Okay.
he is serious about that fucking stupid shit.
Well, I watched the debate with him between him and Shadowver between a Remarkable Republican, and he asked unironically, so there wasn't a unified code of chivalry? Were the knights postmodernists or something?
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's because Knobs is a fucking knob. But
that's Remarkable Republican.
Yeah, Remarkable Republican.
Message coming in.
Well,
Patching it through.
yeah, people are saying that it is Remarkable Republican. That was the troll.
Really interesting.
Here's an interesting super chat
Yeah,
about
like
lore.
Tywin Lannister is the apex homosexual, just or something like that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, EFAP covered that video that you're talking about, Dunn.
Yeah.
And I actually commented on it too. Like, someone actually counter debated his argument the whole video, and he responded to him saying, "You're an idiot."
Oh, that's funny.
Oh dear. All right, Mariner 1712. Space Sheriff Gavin came out in 82. Robocop was going to be a Dread film. Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
He's not inspired by Gavin outside of both of them being silvery robotic-looking cops. All right. I'm not familiar with the background story of that franchise, so I can't say how that works. But cool. That's very interesting to hear about.
That his mirror image is a woman means Robocop is a trans icon? Not necessarily, but it's a...
No.
No,
Maggie, what are you talking about? How did we get from it's a mirror to he thinks he's a woman in a robot body? What are you talking? What? Whoa. Maybe transhuman, not transsexual. Holy jeez.
I don't think there's any point in the film that could possibly suggest he's trans.
I don't know. This is too weird.
Too weird for words.
How did we get here so quickly? We were talking about characters looking like each other. I don't know how we got here. Oh dear. Okay, let's keep going.
Reading opened up by the sequence of shots. But in any case, it's a miracle in itself to see a male action hero identifying with a female peer.
No, it's not. Why?
No, it's not.
What do you mean specifically to do with like identifying with?
They're partners.
Specifically with that word.
Also, Faust is very much like this in the Mission Impossible movies. She loves the boardroom long shot. What? Does this whole thing just makes me go, what?
Remember, this is a list of things she likes. We have no idea what this means to her analysis. She's just listing stuff. It's like, I like the color purple. It's like, why? It's purple. Like, okay, that doesn't help us.
But when she says identify with, I'm assuming she means like can see part of someone else in themselves or something.
Yes, that's part of it. I mean, when identify,
because like
yeah,
the word like identify could be used very broadly because the definition isn't specific to characters. Because I've always heard the word identify used with like women can identify with these characters or something, or they can see themselves in these female characters. Like it always used it as a defense for Ray.
I think a cop who is in a police car in a very dangerous part of the world, like Detroit, in this lore, this story, would love to have anyone behind them or next to them in any scenario. It's like, this is a person I can trust with my life. They got my back. I think that's very important. It doesn't matter what they look like. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter if you can relate to them. They're another cop, and they're going to help me out in a bad situation if it ever happens. That's strong enough bond than identifying with a person who kind of looks like you who happens to be female. It's kind of stupid.
Boardroom long shot. Special effects and cyberpunk are cool, but this seemingly simple, single, long take, which clocks in at just a minute, ties the film's themes together in one dynamic shot. From Bob Morton's overly aggressive, overly loud corporate jockeying,
"Don't mess with Jones, man. He'll make sushi out of it,"
to Dick Jones describing the friction between OCP and the cops.
"Their union's been bitching ever since we took over. You know, the usual nonsense."
To the company's...
Hey, that's the guy from Star Trek, Jellicoe.
I recognize him more from Stargate as Senator Kinsey.
Ah, right, you're right.
Proposed plan for Delta City, which will bring those forces into violent collision. It's the kind of long take that you don't even notice because it's so seamless and natural. It crams 3 small scenes into one fluid shot. I count about 20 actors hitting complicated marks, delivering fast-paced corporate dialogue. And to top it off, we get a sense of the space in the monochromatic, high-tech boardroom. This shot is the beating heart of the film. Michael.
Okay. I mean, that's an interesting take. She almost derided herself into talking about the number of shots from the camera as if she was looking at a choreography for some reason. But no, okay, I'll give her that. She likes it. It's cool. Yep.
This is a neat pick.
Yes, it's a good movie.
Cool.
Is good shot. Looks good. Good acting.
Bay would need 15 different edits, a bunch of fancy graphics, and as many as 3 different crop tops to tie together a scene like this. Corporations.
I didn't. What? What is she talking? What? Let's just rewind. What the hell is she talking about?
She's saying that for a scene like this, Michael Bay would shove a bunch of tits and fancy shots and everything in there.
Okay.
Michael Bay would need 15 different edits, a bunch of fancy graphics, and as many as 3 different crop tops to tie together a scene like this. Corporations can't feel.
I just want to say that I don't think Michael Bay is possible of pulling off any kind of quality scene.
Yeah, I would concur with that. He's bad writer, bad director, and he has he's like a talent vacuum.
Just shove like tits, American flags, just all over your film. Your product placement, just rub it all in there. Make sure to give an extra fuck you to the people who actually like Transformers. And wait.
Okay, here's Jake the Surgeon. The beating heart of the film is Murphy's struggle to regain his humanity. I think that's the actual point and journey that Murphy is on, yes. So why she refers
He's going to make it about corporate America.
Yeah.
He's going to make it about corporate America.
I think you're right there, Dunn, yeah. It's a strange take on Robocop when the title is called Robocop about a guy who is Robocop, and every scene is focused on his humanity or trying to find it, as well as fun action.
That this movie is the way that Robocop rattles off bizarrely insensitive, out-of-touch advice when confronted with innocent people before he's come to terms with his identity. He tells these kids,
"Stay out of trouble."
"Oh, great advice, robot bro. Way to vaguely threaten children." Or the way...
He's a robot.
Isn't that what police officers, say anyway? Like, oh yeah, stay out of trouble, kids. Don't do drugs.
He was programmed
vague
that
advice
way.
Like that.
It's
not a threat.
Yeah.
He's not threatening them. He's not going to say, if you commit a crime, I'm going to beat the shit out of you like the horrible criminal scum you are.
What a strange take there, Maggie. I think it's been established he's lost his humanity. He's been rebuilt as a machine, and they're teaching him how to behave, and he behaves perfectly the way he should. Until he stops, because there's something wrong. Oh boy.
He interfaces with this woman.
"Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center."
Not exactly the emotional support she needed in that scenario, but it's a perfect analog to the way that soulless corporations are simply incapable of mimicking true humanity.
No, it's Robot!
Compare that to how
Robocop himself, he's the robot, he's not the corporation.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much. That's all there is to it. It's not that deep. It's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
how Robocop speaks when he actually has his mask off.
Murphy had a wife and son. What happened to them?
We see this today in even subtler ways, how fast food companies try to appropriate the language of weird Twitter. So next time you see a company tweet out a meme, I hope you read it out loud in Robocop's stiff, goofy voice. Try it at home with family and friends. Every frame a...
Okay. Ooh, every frame. Whoa.
I think she would die before she referenced EFAP to me, unless it was in a derogatory fashion. Personally,
yeah. Well, I think it's kind of cute. Everjance, stay out of trouble is something parents tell their kids as well. Yeah. But
no, but kids are obviously just emotionless. Sorry, the parents are just emotionless. They don't care about their kids.
They're robots. Why doesn't Robocop have more humanity when as soon as we see him, it's like, Why? Maggie, pay attention, please.
A critique of capitalism.
Or corporatism. Could also be corporatism. I don't know. Is it just me, or is it talking about corporations? Oh yeah, it's talking about corporations. Of course, that's why she likes it, because it's critiquing capitalism.
Every frame a cock. All right, that's great.
If there's a shot that perfectly portrays the in-story relationship between the average people of
Message coming
Detroit
in.
and the people who hold
Patch
the
it
power
through.
in Detroit, it's this one. And it's another example of how Verhoeven uses complicated film production techniques to get across the movie's complex themes in striking, simple-to-understand visuals. By using an attachment called a split-field diopter, the subjects on both the left and the right of frame remain in focus, even though Emile, on the right, is way closer to camera than the gas station attendant on the left. But it's not just a cool trick. It also allows Verhoeven to frame the attendant on the left as small and powerless. He's trapped behind what looks like...
Or what you could do is you could alternatively just use a normal frame and you just turn down the... was it the aperture? Is it the aperture that does the focus blur? I can't remember. One of them. You get a normal camera, you turn down the blur, all of a sudden you have both of them in focus. You don't need a special lens. So it's nice to use a special lens. It's good. It's nice.
But this represents that he's in focus and weak and small because he's in the frame as well, and he's behind the glass. Like, what? Okay, I guess. Oh dear, Maggie, where are you going?
Yeah,
with this?
he's just behind glass. It's just both in focus.
I don't. Yeah, I just.
It's also, it could just be called, good cinematography. It's also something you can call it.
Good angles, good camera work. Not necessarily that it's in frame or in focus. Yeah, it's a good film. We get it. Jake the Surgeon, less than 4 minutes in, and I want to French my exhaust. Maggie is amazing. She's just does crazy things to us. We listen and we go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
a cage, imprisoned by his...
He's imprisoned by what? Guess, everyone. What's she going to say next? Let's find out.
His job, based in machinery, an unwitting agent of capital.
There it is.
Or he's just being robbed. Maybe it's that. Could be that. Who fucking knows? It could just be that he's just being stuck with a gun. Who fucking knows? Of course, it's all just everything comes back to capitalism.
Oh dear. How did we get this far? I knew she was going to talk about it.
But how is someone being robbed? Capitalism. That's kind of crime, which is possibly further away from capitalism than most things can get, because it's not exactly in the legal system of how the functional society works.
That hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space.
Sorry, I had to do that. Tim Curry always comes to mind. Anyway, let's keep going.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
And on the right, Emile is an imposing figure that takes up more than half of the frame. He's a fascist black shirt, figuratively.
He has a black shirt, therefore he's a black shirt. Okay. It's a jacket. Okay, Maggie. You're stereotyping him.
Did you play the Tim Curry
Yes.
communism thing?
I couldn't resist.
I just say everyone say it in chat.
Tyler Preston, I was wrong. Mobile Cop Jaban has been in common with Robocop than Gavin. Gavin wears power armor instead of being a cyborg. Oh, I have no idea. These are really old stories I've never heard of before. Mobile Cop Jaban. Wow. Anyway, let's talk about how this gentleman on the right is a fascist.
And pretty early, too, an agent of the same corporate culture that imprisons the gas station attendant. It only
Okay, so some thug...
He's not in prison!
Some thug with a gun is imprisoning this other guy working at a job. Maggie, those are two different things. One is a corporation or a franchise, I assume this guy is working at. And the other guy is an illegal criminal.
Crime isn't exactly corporate.
Well, it can be, but in this regard, no, you're right.
Well, yeah, but generally when you think of crime, you're thinking more along the lines of, street crime, like what's happening here. It's not exactly corporate.
It's a strange thing to say that crime is causing people to be under the thumb of a business. And it's this weird, horrible nature of their lifestyle that they have to go through to make a living. It's like no one's forcing him at gunpoint to work there. Quite literally the opposite. Because he's working there, they're taking advantage of him. Not the corporation, the actual guy with the gun, literally pointing it at him. So, little different scenario there, Maggie.
That's a moment, but what a mind-blowing shot. Existential question.
It's a mind-blowing shot because he's in focus?
Reasons.
I don't get it. It's mind-blowing. I couldn't comprehend it. Oh. Well, I don't think we can comprehend Maggie either, but that's the different reason.
Mm-hmm.
Question time. What is a cop?
Oh my God.
What's a cop?
With two
Citizen on patrol.
So, I don't think I need to define or describe what a police officer is or what they do. I'm sure it's the same in every part of the world. Someone upholds the law, and you place your faith in their ability to discern good from bad, right from wrong, if the need arises. So, yeah.
I think the movie wants to capture what we hope cops are.
TJ Laser. Oh, yeah. I remember that. Oh, geez. I know someone made a big spoof about that with Mass Effect, but that's a whole other channel we're not going to talk about. Jake the Surgeon. Red Foreman's crew was employed secretly unknown to OCP. They're not corporate. Oh, there you go. Good to know.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Just a gang.
What we want cops to be. Morally pure, selfless, heroic. And time again, the movie challenges that hope. We see ED-209, who represents the complete lack of humanity that cops are...
He's not a cop! It's a robot! It's not a cop!
Okay.
People all think the same, but it's so obvious.
Well, you see, Robocop is the cop we need, but the reality of cops and what the film is challenging is that the cops are actually ED thingy, who's just killing all these people in a really dramatic and gruesome scene.
Yeah, so we know that this giant hulking machine is not a cop. I think everyone can see that. Okay, visually.
Does it have a police badge? No, it doesn't.
It's a corporate thing that is used by law enforcement.
Yeah, even then, if you give like police a tank, the tank's not a police officer.
Yeah, and that scene is supposed to symbolize how these corporate people are incompetent because they gave that thing live ammunition.
For testing, to show off to the board of directors or whatever they were doing here, which is insane. But that's part of the joy of this sort of film because it's so it's not corny. I'm trying to find the word. It's campy. It's kind of like, oh, geez, this is actually happening. Okay, this is the world that Robocop takes place in. Okay, that's the kind of the beauty of this sort of film. They're showing us this desolate world where the corporations are doing something crazy like this.
Mm-hmm.
Capable of. In the collaboration between OCP executive Dick Jones and the criminals. Bodeker's gang basically acts like a private little SWAT team for Jones, executing his corporate agenda. And those same cops who act... Okay,
so again, they're not enacting a corporate agenda. They're just thugs hired to do stuff. They're not part of the corporation. It's like, I have a contract. I want you to go mow my lawn. They're not part of my household. They're just mowing the lawn because I paid them.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said they would have put harmless Nerf bullets in it, and I think I agree that would have been hilarious. Just all of a sudden, that scene, they're just being showered with Nerf bullets.
That would still hurt like hell, but yeah. Oh dear. Fran Mataraki, how does COC compare to DICK society? I don't know.
Real questions here.
Yeah. As if we need more criticisms of corporatism or
Message coming in. Patching it through.
capitalism.
As the voice of reason earlier in the movie.
Well, I'll tell you what we should do. We should strike.
By the end of Act 2, they're lining up to...
We should strike. Let cops strike. The voice of reason. Fantastic. That's great.
That's so stupid.
I don't think I've seen a cop strike. It must have happened in my lifetime. I just don't remember. Has that ever happened recently? I don't think so. I think when it did happen, it was very orderly and very quiet. Like they literally did not disturb the peace. They just walked. I think that was it.
Anyway, she talks about like we idealize cops and what cops should be. It's like I kind of agree. Yeah, that films do idealize cops and what cops should be, but so what? So is like the army in films. So is this, that, and the other. What's your point? But then you're trying to somehow pull like police brutality in here.
I'm trying to stomach it. The idea that, this is what the cops should do. It's like, all right. Because why? Give us a reason why there, Maggie. I just want to know your thought process.
I wouldn't even say like Robocop is like an idea of what cops should be, because he's a fucking robot.
He got most of his memory wiped, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she even talks about how like emotionless he is in the beginning, because he's supposed to be. It's like, I would say if films which kind of portray cops like more of what they should be would be or like an idealized version of cops. I'm trying to think of now. Cop films, guys. I don't watch many.
You mean police procedurals?
Dirty Harry.
There you go. I haven't seen it, but there you go. Idealized cop.
I just know it. I don't know. I know there could be just like any like NCIS show, any cop drama show.
Yeah, those are definitely romanticized. Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Blow Robocop away. Some of them voice their concerns.
Hey, wait a second! A cop, for God's sake!
But ultimately, they cannot escape their positions as enforcers in an unjust system. So what is a cop? Well,
he's basically invulnerable. He's like kind of like a walking tank. So I don't know what bullets are going to do to him, but okay.
He's a human tank.
Yeah.
The only thing that seems like it's close to killing him is that giant bipedal robot, and he evades it by making it go on the stairs because it can't walk on the stairs.
Robocop is a cop. ED-209 is a cop.
Whoa. Is it?
There's a piece of hardware that is used for law enforcement purposes. There's a difference.
Let me just check that out. The enforcement droid.
Who's connecting and disconnecting rapidly?
Oh, that's a problem. Okay.
Also, in order to be a citizen on patrol, you kind of need to be a citizen, and robots aren't citizens because, clankers aren't people.
I don't see it in the description where it's given a cop status or given parameters to do something like that. It just seems to be a big tank. It's bipedal and it shoots things. That's about it. The units were programmed for urban pacification, but OCP also negotiated contracts with the military for use in war. So no, it's not a cop. It's just a giant robot.
Hardware.
Yeah.
It's a piece of hardware. It just happens to be used for warfare and law enforcement.
Yeah.
Murphy is a cop. These good cops are cops. This asshole cop is a cop. The bad guy gang members are cops.
Wait, what? Are they?
What? No, wait, no. Are
they ex-cops, maybe?
Yes. I think that they are like metaphorically cops. Let's see what she has to say, because that's really.
They're thematically cops.
They're not really cops,
symbolically cops,
but I think they're cops. Therefore, it's a metaphor. Okay, we got you, Maggie. Okay, thanks for.
Did they have badges?
Maybe she's saying that because cops in the real world are basically just shells for corporations. She's likening the criminals who are shells for corporate, or at least like corporate hired thugs to cops.
Is this where we look around and everyone's a winner? I was like, you're a cop, she's a cop, everyone here is a cop.
Maybe she'll explain herself. I mean, she's probably not going to, but maybe she will. And maybe we'll all just sit down and be all happy clappy, and we'll have drinks and we'll all be nice, and everything will be explained.
Overall, this complicates the idea that
no, she doesn't explain.
Equal good, because it understands that cops are human, and humans are historically known to abuse power.
Whoa. Because cops are human, they're inherently bad because they abuse power. Okay. So does that mean little children who are innocent abuse power? I don't know.
See, this is why I don't like covering Maggie Mae Fish videos. They are terrible. They are fucking nonsense.
That's why we love covering them, because they're hilarious to watch.
They're insane, yeah.
The film makes everyone a cop because it realizes cops are humans, and humans historically abuse power, so cops are bad. We should get rid of them. Just defund them. Just get them out of here.
You know who's also human? Priests and doctors. They abuse their power. They're fundamentally bad too. So.
Imagine that.
Do you know who also abused their power? Hitler.
Hitler, of course. Yeah, obviously, that's a good one there, Sharon. I wasn't thinking about that.
Do you know who also abused power? Chancellor Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he did it democratically, so it's okay. It was the will of the people. Jake the Surgeon. Subjectivity is one hell of a drug. I don't know if I could use that in this scenario. Maggie Mae is her own sort of drug, and I don't know what.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, she's on her own high. She's doing her own thing, and we can't understand how she got from A to B.
I think it's the deeply interpretive school of thought, kind of like the idiots who just believe that use post-colonialist lens to view just about everything in existence.
I want to sit down with her for like a good 15 minutes. Like, okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Just give me the first thing that pops out of your mind. Just to see what happens. Some serious questions, some basic questions.
Maggie, we want your instant blank response. What is Robocop about?
That might take too long. I don't know. She might be flabbergasted at first. And then go into like a 2-minute response. Oh boy.
That's the point of it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what's in a name.
In a name. There's a really interesting back and forth in this movie where we see Murphy's name. We hear Murphy's name.
Murphy, it's you.
But we also hear Robocop's name.
There's a new guy in town. His name's Robocop.
And
you hear names,
Robocop's
guys!
name. So is he Murphy or is he Robocop?
That's a great question there, Maggie.
Or is he both? It could possibly be both. Who fucking knows these? Oh god, identity. Who cares?
This is kind of the focus of the story, where he discovers he's not just a machine. He's an actual used to be a man, and he's trying to find his humanity. So let's just chalk this up with Maggie Mae being creative and saying, "I like the theme of the movie," and I put it in the form of a question of a thing I liked.
I'm not sure I like the idea of giving her like credit, because I don't think I don't know.
I'm not going to bash a fanboy or fangirl for liking something for the right reason, just because they say it in a weird way. So I'm like, yeah, I know what she's saying. I get it. It's just funny to hear her say it.
Well, there's a lot of doubles in this film. Murphy and Lewis, Boddicker and Jones, Detroit and Delta City.
Wait. Okay, when you have a scene with two characters, it's called dialogue. That doesn't mean there's a partnership happening. It's just that's what dialogue is. You don't jump from two people and then two cities. I don't know how we got there, unless this is an actual scene of the film. So, is she talking about the rich part of the city or the downtown core and then the docks area? I don't know. Something like that, maybe. I don't think that's the dichotomy in the film, though. I don't think that's a big thing, especially when you show people in a police precinct who are cops talking to each other. That's kind of standard stuff.
Message coming in.
Joe Crazy.
Patching it through.
I just got back from an errand. What'd I miss? Oh, you missed crazy stuff. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Just crazy stuff. And you can just rewind and have fun
Robocop
listening
being
to
a trans icon.
Well, that was the first. Yeah, that was fun. Whew. It's a trans character because he's a robot. Like, no, stop it.
ED209 and Robocop. But ultimately, what the movie is saying is these distinctions don't exist the way we want them to. And the final line in the movie,
"Nice shooting, son. What's your name?" "Murphy."
Followed by the final Robocop title card, shoved that idea right in our face. Binary choice.
No, it's just a fucking title of the film.
You know, when some films end and they show the credits, and the first part of the credits is the film title.
Okay, so let's have a theoretical, Star Wars film, a Star Trek film, and it's William Shatner as Kirk. At the end of the film, he people say, who are you? And he says, Kirk. And then it goes to the title, Star Trek, something Dark Side. It's not Kirk is also Dark Side. That's just the title. It's what the fuck are you on about, Maggie?
It is fitting though that is in fact the character as well as the title. The same with Spider-Man of your comic book. It's like, yep, that's Spider-Man. And if he ends the film saying Peter Parker, I mean, great, fantastic. We get it. But there's more to Spider-Man than just his identity. And Murphy was rediscovering his humanity in the process. So I don't mind that. It's a strange take, but okay. I mean, it's not wrong. Robocop is Murphy. That's true.
In control and help us organize the universe. But in reality, it's hardly ever either or. Robocop is trapped between binaries. He is
Murphy,
but he's also Robocop. He exists in the space between human and machine.
Okay, so Robocop title, not title. What is it? Like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Sure.
You can have. I'm trying to remember the. What's the other word for like a name or like Batman?
A moniker?
Sorry, say that again.
A moniker.
Moniker. Oh,
message coming in.
Reference.
Fine, I'll say that.
Patching it through.
An identity, a personality, a persona, a character.
Yeah, well, just you can have two names and you can be. Like again, Batman, Bruce Wayne, same person. They are each other. It's. I don't see what she's trying to get at here.
Well, we understand the film as someone rediscovering what they lost, which happens to be their humanity because they're a machine now. So that's a great message. Whether we see it through the lens of a program that turned a cop into a walking tank, and he's discovering he had a family and all these other things that happened to him. That's part of the drama, that you care for your character and you want to know what happens to him. So again, she's describing it in an interesting way. We're going, yes, you're right. Just you're getting there in a very strange way, Maggie.
I think Maggie is herself a strange
yes,
thing, way.
Is. She is fantastically strange. Here's Jake the surgeon. When Murphy is asked what his name was in the end of the film, he replies, Murphy. It's him finally regaining who he is. Maggie had it. She had it. Yes, she's right. That's why I'm not disagreeing with her. She's just saying
the part I'm disagreeing with was like where she said, "Oh well, you know, it's symbolic with the film title, and then you have the film title, and he says it's Murphy." It's like, yeah, Murphy. That's the end of him regaining his identity. But then it's not some all big thematic thing. It's not deep or complicated that they just show up the title of the film at the end of the film. It's just what films do.
Yeah.
Employee, evil corporation OCP, and servant of the public good, constantly navigating his own identity. Just like you and me! But seriously, Lewis is a badass.
Here we go.
I would run...
Back to this character. So she liked her once, now she likes her again. I'm not done talking about the lady in the movie. Okay, thanks Maggie. We got it.
Slow motion across a field to be wrapped up in Lewis's arms. It's rare that...
Okay.
You get a well-written female-identifying character in an action movie. And if this movie proves anything, it's that it's not that hard to write strong ladies, and anyone who's failed should be utterly ashamed. But really, she's incredibly smart, capable, funny. She's like the women I see in the real world and that I look up to. She also doesn't shed her femininity like many other 80s action heroes. For example, James Cameron's female leads, who are his personal, weird, fetishized ideal of a soldier mommy. Those characters communicate to the audience that feminine means weak. They imply that what a woman really
she about to say
to do...
aliens that
Ripley.
Ripley's weak.
I think she just said it, yeah.
And that she's a fetish. Ripley is a fetish, guys.
One of the greatest female characters in film. Heroes. She's fetishized because why? She was not sexualized at all to me. I don't know where she's getting that, but okay. Maybe it's the guns. Maybe it's the machinery.
Or maybe she's just a strong female character. Maybe.
That could be attractive. Yeah, that could be fetishized, but it's like, okay, but that's a good thing.
Because this character seems less feminine than Amanda Ripley.
Yeah. But I don't get why. How is she sexualized in Alien? I'm trying to think. I can't. I don't know.
Is be more like a traditional masculine dude, but not Lewis. When Lewis sees Robocop, she knows right away that something is up with him because she's intelligent and doesn't need a whole sequence where we see her put the clues together. She knows her partner. She follows her gut. Lewis is all lady, all powerful. I mean, she delivers the final blow after...
So that means that you can't have an intelligent character put together the pieces to work something out? That makes them an idiot?
I'm not sure. She obviously just likes the character for whatever reason, and she's giving one or two reasons. Like she knows it's Murphy. She has an intuition. It's like, fine, cool. That's great. And that doesn't make her a good character. That just makes her knowledgeable. I have a hunch that's my character. He's been gone for X number of months or whatever it was. Now he's back. It must be him. Whatever logic the character had. I don't remember the film, so I can't say. It's not hard to have that in a film or a character in a story.
Message coming in.
Here's Jake the surgeon. Rescuing your daughter figure from killing machines makes you weak, guys. I don't know.
My only comment at this point is, we know you're bi, Maggie, and we do not care. You do you.
Yeah. She obviously likes the character. It's like, yes, you're right. It's a great character. Nothing much to her, but it's a good character. Mike Testa, she said it. She said mommy. Uh-oh. Did she?
Yeah, she said soldier mommy.
Oh. About aliens?
Like that's about Terminator.
Terminator?
She had the clip of it said Soldier Mommy with James Cameron film. So that could be Terminator.
Ripley and Terminator.
Could be Ripley.
Yeah.
It could be both.
Sarah Connor, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we do see Sarah Connor at one point.
I think is like these are characters that are strong and they're also attractive. So what? I don't see a problem there. You can have male characters who are attractive, who are also strong.
Yeah. It would have been the exact same effect to the audience who saw if Murphy had a male partner who looked very much like him, put the pieces together. And here's a great example from Jake. Lewis spotted how Murphy would spin his gun before holstering. That's right. I remember that.
Message coming in.
And she put the dots together. Oh, yeah.
Patching it through.
Yeah, it's Murphy. That's how we do
So
it.
she just put the dots together.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is Maggie Mae Fish talking about? She doesn't need to put the dots together because she knows who her partner is. That just sounds like to me like someone who's trying to defend like something is like, oh, you don't need a scene where they figure something out because that's just unnecessary.
It's nice to have.
You don't need to do good writing.
It's nice to have characterization where it's a visual cue, like spinning your gun or a nervous twitch. It's like, oh yeah, that's that thing I remember from before, and it happens to clue her into figuring out. I think that's Murphy, and then she keeps going on and on about it, and Robocop's like, go away, whatever. That's good. That's a little bit of tension. That's fantastic stuff. Basic, simple stuff. Shows some humanity that is still trapped in the machine. Great idea.
Her body is basically ripped apart because that's just what a fighter would do. Speaking of her body getting ripped apart, this scene is clearly setting up Lewis to be the next Robocop. Murphy...
Wait a second.
What? Where's your evidence, please?
I don't remember that in the movie, so maybe it happens, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Promises her...
They'll fix you. They fix everything.
A Robocop sequel with Lewis and Murphy as buddy cop cyborgs would have been amazing. I love Lewis. I love their friendship.
She wasn't that compared to him.
What did she say? Just rewind that.
Everything.
A Robocop sequel with Lewis and Murphy as buddy cop cyborgs.
Perfectly fine.
Been amazing. I love Lewis.
I didn't hear that.
She's not as damaged as he is. Like, he gets blown up, and the last remaining bits of him that exist are like his a few internal organs and his face.
Yeah.
Fix you. They fix everything.
A Robocop sequel with Lewis and Murphy as buddy cop cyborgs would have been amazing. I love Lewis. I love their friendship. I love it all. The happy ending only exists because the corporation allows it to. Here's a weird thing to ask yourself.
It's because of capitalism, folks, that everyone's happy. Oh, isn't that great? What a lovely message to our corporate overlords. How is she going to spin this to be? It's a bad happy ending because capitalism bad. Like, okay.
We don't care.
Has true agency in the final climax.
Just imagine like Reapers now, like you exist because we allow it.
And now you're going to
end because we demand it.
And now you're going to have the happy blue ending or something. Like, what? Which pretty much happens as the story allows. So yeah.
Of the movie. Dick Jones is a rich guy with a big gun. That's a lot of power. Robocop is a superhuman robot cop with a bigger gun. That's a lot of power. And yet, without his hostage, Jones is powerless. And as long as Directive 4 is in play, Robocop is powerless.
My program will not allow me to act against an officer of this company.
In this moment, the CEO of OCP is both the subject and object of power. He's the object, which is held by Jones in order to exert power. And he is the subject who is able to end the standoff simply by speaking. By the way, I had to look up
Message coming in. Name. Patching it through.
So here's Jake the Surgeon. That was a joke, you sauteed cabbage brain neophyte. Yeah, we have to give the impression we're talking to her directly, or else we'll drive ourselves nuts. So we have to like scream at the screen a lot. I know, it's crazy. Whew.
was because I didn't just want to call him the old man, but that is literally his name in the script because Robocop is a movie that's painfully aware of the patriarchy. Even
What? Patriarchy? What does Robocop have to do with patriarchy? Not. Oh, you can. Old man? How is old man got anything to do with patriarchy?
It's the
Aren't there
brain
women?
cancer that all of these people.
You can have old women.
There were women on that board of directors. I saw a few. Maybe they're just secretaries, but they're still there.
Oh man, this is funny.
This is so stupid. The patriarchy exists because capitalism. Oh. Any other self-enacting prophecies there, Maggie Mae? What else is next? Is the creator of the film Islamophobe, or does he hate the Jews?
I know Bellin thinks that Bellin thinks that the Ray Harryhausen Sinbad trilogy is Islamophobic.
Oh dear. Oh wow, that trilogy, I haven't even watched that. Totally forgot about that thing. Okay, so old man, therefore patriarchy. Fantastic, Maggie. Just brilliant deduction there. That's just so good. So much logic.
All because he didn't have a name in the script.
Joe Crazy. The old dude was pretty nuanced before the sequels were a thing.
Message coming
Looked
in.
like a tertiary character.
Patching it through.
You don't need to necessarily have names for all your characters. That's fine. But it depends what they do and what they represent is more important. So you understand what they're doing in the scene and what's going on. That's kind of more important than, hi, I'm Petruchio. It's like, we don't need to know. I don't need to remember Katerina's lover or lover-to-be, even though that's the main character. I don't even care if they change the name. It's just a weird Italian name in Taming of the Shrew. It's not important.
Petruchio,
yeah.
Petruchio.
The male lead in Taming of the Shrew, the guy who charms or breaks down Katerina so she becomes more ladylike. We don't need to know. His name is not important. His family house is completely unimportant. It's complete destitute. He has some retainers. He has some servants, but they're all like lazy and what have you. But until he whips them into shape to get Katerina back to lady status. So, yeah. Names aren't that important unless there's some big weird symbolism for them.
At the movie's Climax, it's not Robocop with his super machine body and big boy gun who holds the power. If the old man
It is. He literally has his big machine body with his big boy machine gun. It literally is him. Okay. Maybe he's more human in this scene, and he could shoot freely, but he's still Robocop, still aiming like a robot.
man does not will it, can't happen.
Let me
Robocop.
just rewind that.
Even at the movie's climax, it's not Robocop with his super machine body and big boy gun who holds the power. If the old man does not will it, it can't happen. Robocop kills the bad guy because in that moment, it serves the old man's agenda.
Oh, he kills the black man. Oh, he must be a racist.
Wow. Okay, wow. That thing has some weird arms, I have to say.
Interesting arms you have there, sir.
Yeah, did Mr. Fantastic call it? He wants his powers back.
Yeah.
Patching it through.
Here's Jake the Surgeon. Women need to apologize for Maggie. I don't know. It just Maggie's a treat.
But, like the left,
She's
like
amazing.
the left has to apologize for Movie Bob.
Oh god, anything people say that it's insane, I think it's like, okay, I think you're taking your politics a bit too far there, sir. Or ma'am.
Which is pretty terrifying since the old man has been running this whole show and made all the decisions that led to tons and tons of people getting killed over the past hour and 45 minutes of this narrative. The climactic moment of the movie is not Robocop shooting Jones. It's the old man saying,
Dick, you're fired!
That's good, I like that. Old man. Dun, 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 dun. That's great. I like that. See, Maggie is clever once in a while. It makes me laugh. It's great stuff.
A broken clock, or well, a busted up clock can be once every
amidst
century,
all the
I guess.
insanity.
A broken clock could be once a what?
A busted clock can be, you're right, once a century.
Oh, one of those century clocks. Okay. Jake the Surgeon, you're on a roll here, sir. The old man is a CEO of him. Firing Jones allows Murphy to shoot him. Exactly. I understood that from Directive 4. He had no idea what Jones was doing.
Patching it through.
Yeah, pretty much. It's, again, he's Robocop. He's not.
But capitalism.
Capitalism is good. Like, oh, wait, no, I didn't say that. Capitalism gives us the happy ending. Okay.
But seriously, is Robocop a trans icon? I mean, if they're...
Oh, no. That was a joke, Maggie. We were laughing about it. Please say no. Please say no, Maggie.
There's one person that loves finding different ways of reading films. It's me! So, is there a reading of Robocop as a trans icon? I think Verhoeven himself would probably say, hell yeah!
No. Hell yeah! That's how he'd say it, though. He'd say it really gay-like. Like he was homosexual and he was acting gay, like really gay. Right, Maggie?
Wow.
Hell yeah! Your Honor, my client is insane. I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know.
Your Honor, the person who made this video is clearly insane. Please commit them. They're poisoning the universe with their terrible videos. Or at least, well, actually, no. Let them keep doing it. It makes the left look worse.
My wife picked up that script Robocop and read it, and she said, yeah, this is perhaps not, it's not Shakespeare, but it is a script with more layers than you think. As I started to work with the writers, I picked up so many layers and additional elements, and I got really inspired by what was already on the paper, by extending that, emphasizing it, pushing it.
And special thanks to Carmela Morel.
Okay, wait. He didn't say anything about trans people. He just said there are layers to the story. It's like, yes, there are. It's not just a stupid action flick. There's something about his humanity which is dramatic that we like. We like the character of Murphy. He loses his life. He gets a second lease, and he's lost everything that made living important. He's a corporate cog as a machine, literal machine, and he discovers as the machine's not perfect, his programming is not perfect, and that programming breaks down. And he discovers his humanity. That's what's special about it. Not the fact he's a cyborg. I don't get it. Jake again. Trans icons are often forced into becoming cybernetic enforcers with no humanity to speak of. Yeah, apparently that's...
Is Maggie Mae Fish trying to say that trans people don't have humanity?
If they're cyborgs, apparently, I don't know. Yeah. Strange take there, Maggie. Joe Crazy, is she really going with this? I think so. She's really pushing for it. She's trying to make the case that the creator, writer, director is thinks that the script is really deep. Just we don't know how deep or what's the depth. We don't know in what direction it was supposed to go. And she's probably going to interpolate that from this other random chick with the glasses, which she's going to talk about. Mike Testa and a commie monster. Yeah, she's a
message coming in.
She's a something or other. I don't know what. She's just Maggie Mae Fish, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Tyler Preston, so many layers of stupid, so little time. I know. We got to pause really quickly now as we get closer and closer to the end. Whew. Only halfway.
For her and academic insight in this section. Verhoeven's cinematic grammar attempts to produce a gaze that identifies with women instead of...
Whoa. A female gaze?
Cinematic gaze?
Whoa.
license to identify. What?
What is this?
I think this is just kind of nonsense.
Well, I want to know, what is a cinematic gaze from a character in a movie
Message coming in.
looking at the film?
Patching it through.
Have you guys ever heard that term before? I know it. I've heard of male gaze because they invented it and told us it's when a man looks at a woman wantingly. But yeah, I haven't heard of cinematic gaze.
I think it's more like, if you go by definition, it's objectifying them or something.
Yeah, but what's a female gaze? What's a womanly gaze?
God. Gender studies, fuck off.
I don't know.
Every single shirtless shot in a Marvel movie.
Oh.
Funny enough, you can still have attractive characters. That's something you're allowed. Why should you not be allowed to have attractive characters? The only reason why you're saying this is because she isn't that attractive.
Yeah.
Message coming in.
Here is
Patching it through.
Dylan Smith, Paul Verhoeven, I hope I'm pronouncing that, the director's name, speaks Dutch with an American accent and English with a Dutch accent. So many layers. Okay. I guess. Joe Crazy. What's with insane lefty YouTubers trying to equate robots to trans people? I don't know. I guess they see the transition from male to female or vice versa as similar to people with lost limbs. I guess. I mean, they're
it's just weird.
Yeah, they're physically different in a certain bodily way, but aside from that, I don't get it. They have the word trans, and I guess transhuman is the same as transsexual. Like, I don't know. Let's get the first 5 letters right.
That hurts my brain. Fuck off.
All right.
Why are you doing this? This isn't necessary. This is fuck to do with nothing. They're fine. Leave it alone. It's fine.
Yeah.
Carmela Morel, personal and academic insight in this section. Verhoeven's cinematic grammar attempts to produce a gaze that identifies with women instead of merely objectifying women. We do see characters.
Okay. So because she looks a certain way, she's not being objectified, even though she looks plenty attractive as a cop, but that's the point. She's supposed to look like a
No
cop.
one ever identified with a woman before this film, or using the term identify really nebulously.
I actually like these cute commercials with this guy. I'll buy that for $1.
I always found like the idea of identifying with characters kind of strange, because I've never looked at a character and think, yo, that's like me. I'm like that character. I identify with them. It's like, nah, I don't really. I was like, oh, it's a good character. They're pretty cool. But I don't identify with them though, because I'm not a space marine, or I'm not a cop, or I'm not a person who's doing something in a film, because films are often like very dramatic,
for sure,
bigger than yourself kind of stories.
Right, like you don't identify with a moisture farmer on some alien planet. It's like, well, no, I don't, but I get where he's coming from, and I think that's the point of identification. Whereas in my definition, I just say, do you like this character? And if they happen to be, I don't know, a computer programmer who makes websites, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. That's me. And if they showcase that in an intelligent way, I'll be like, hey, that's nice.
I'm not saying there isn't something called an everyman, because obviously there is a character called an everyman.
Right.
And I would say you can make characters more relatable in how you create them in their backgrounds, and you can relate to people through the struggles they go through. And I'm not talking about but identify specifically with like a character trait, like race or gender, or they're a cop, or that they're going through something really specific that, or this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
That's something that I've never said, oh, look, I'm someone who's, done really hard to do well in education. Oh, and look, there's a character in a film that's done really hard to do in education. I'm just like that character.
Yeah.
I like Rodney McKay because he's a really fucking well done character. I don't like him because he's a nerd.
Right. So when you say identification, it could be any scene where you see a scene, the character behaves, as you said, like they're in a certain scenario, maybe it's a cultural thing, And it's like, oh, this person's stealing some fruit. Like maybe you've been in that scenario. That's identification, and that's all it is. But that's just one aspect of caring about a protagonist or a character and saying, I know where they're coming from. I can see that piece of humanity, and I've been there before. That's about it, though.
It's also really subjective as well.
Yes.
Because what you identify with personally is up to you.
Right.
And I always find it more better when you're talking about characters to actually talk about the characters themselves and not just say, well, I identify with them or they're relatable. But obviously we're talking with subjectivists here and they're all about the feeling and this, that, and the other. And
the moral
always,
it's
yeah. So I always reduce it to liking something for whatever reason, for whatever intensity. And that could involve identification. That could involve relating to a scenario. That could involve, hey, they look cool, they sound cool, they're attractive, they're visually appealing. So when they start talking about the female gaze, whatever that is, I'm like, how does that work? Like, do I find Lewis more attractive because of her female gaze? I don't know what that means. I see her as a good character that helps Murphy out, and she cares about her lost partner as any partner would, and she's putting the clues together, so she's clever, but that's as deep as it gets. Like, there doesn't have to be this massive reason or series thereof why you're attracted to a character. So long as there's at least one, and you could say, all right, this person's a human, they tie their shoes, great. They go through some struggle in the morning. It's like, great, we got it. So,
yeah, for sure that her sexual awakening was apparently Orlando Bloom and Liv Tyler in Lord of the Rings. So,
oh, was that her first video?
maybe that's what she identifies with.
Yeah, Maggie Mae is a magical character. We don't know where she's coming from half the time. So, all right, Lancelot 652. I just joined and heard that Robocop is a trans icon. I'm going to go beat my head against the wall until I can understand Maggie. Oh no, don't worry. We're delving into that topic right now, so we gotta figure out what Maggie's been buying for $1 the past 50 years or 40 years.
But yeah, it's instead of identify like a female character is identifiable. It's like for a female character is well written.
Sometimes they don't have to be that.
You know, and funny enough, to be well written, you can be attractive or you cannot be attractive. You can be strong or you could be weak. You can write a character of any disposition in any way, and not in any way, but a character in any disposition to be well written, or they can be poorly written. So honestly, their attractiveness and how strong they are doesn't really have anything to do with the film's quality, which is one of the more frustrating parts of hearing, well, we need more strong women in films. Like, no, we need well-written people in films.
Keyword being people, that we always see these characters just as characters, and when we identify with their humanity, then we say, they are now real to me, or more real to me. But that's just one element, one aspect.
Why should we identify with a character purely based on their race or gender?
No, you shouldn't. That's silly.
That to me is kind of strange.
Yeah.
And then she over here and they're saying, oh, well, a male character is identifying with a female character. It's like, I don't even think that's in the film. I think they're just friends.
Yep.
Within the narrative objectify women, but these acts of objectification are contextualized to us, the audience, as ironic, perverse, and absurd.
And you need lots of stimulation, Bobby.
Yes, I do.
We are watching these men watch TV, and we see them laugh harder than natural, as if they're performing that enjoyment. They cartoonishly perform cis-normative heterosexuality. The film-
What? Laughing at a TV? What? Do normal people or do non-normal people not do this? I can't read a book and not be entertained. You are performing hetero cis behavior there, sir. Like, what?
I don't wake up and say, well, I'm going to enjoy something hetero-cis this morning. So I'm going to go do a hetero-cis thing. It's like, no, I'm just going to brush my teeth and going to go out, going to have dinner. Got a lesson at 12.
I think maybe it's like it appeals to like a specific bias is what she's saying. Maybe that's it.
I think she's saying it's making like a big message about heteronormative men who are enjoying heteronormative things.
I think that's when the context of Detroit
bias.
Yeah.
Like it's what these people like, and it's very performative.
Exactly. This is
because they want.
Yeah, these are criminals to a degree, individual actual criminals in the story, and the corporate guy who's like, doing drugs off a lady's chest. So
message coming
that's fine. That's great. That
through.
showcases the world you're in, the setting you're in, the characters that are the bad guys are in. What's wrong with that? They get blown away. They're the bad guys. Would you have them be really squeaky clean and hello, good evening, miss, how do you do? And don't touch them and don't have any fun parties and have boring scenes? No. We want the bad guy to be doing blow off some hooker's ass for whatever reason. It's cool. It shows how dirty and perverse they are. Within I think this is an R-rated film, so at the time.
Yeah. So you can basically get away with anything in an R-rated film.
Exactly. Women are objects, Maggie, and yes, they are, and God bless women.
Film satirizes gender roles over and over and over.
Go ahead. Shake his hand.
Come here often.
Showing a violent hierarchy where men aggressively assert
He
their
says come
masculinity
here
on
often
those
when
around
he's
them
shaking
through
a hand.
violence
Oh,
and
great.
mocking laughter while holding big phallic firearms. And admitting
Phallic firearms? Maggie, do you know what a
This
phallic
shotgun
object is
so phallic. There's pump
it's
action.
a fucking gun. It's not phallic.
Well, the weird thing is some people say that a sword is a phallic object.
Oh, dear.
What the fuck? What they... Oh, my God.
Big Preston Jacob.
It's not the dildo gun.
Yeah. What?
These people, all these men, they're holding dildo guns.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm glad that the characters in the story are actually dangerous with their guns. Whether or not she finds them phallic is up to her, but I'm like, they're guns, Maggie.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Sometimes a pump action Remington shotgun is just a pump action Remington shotgun, Maggie.
Oh, God, no.
Fred Madraki said, someone sounds thirsty. Yeah, I would agree with that. Sounds like Maggie.
And they're objectifying women.
Pride just needs to get later.
With their big...
Sounds like Maggie's sex.
Yeah, she's like they're masculine. They're making women look like objects with their giant phallic shotguns. And it's like okay.
maybe the thing
this is all a commentary on toxic masculinity.
Maybe Maggie is just sex deprived and needs somebody to bang just as a booty call or something to get the crazy out or something.
As long as she stays far away from me, I'm fine.
Well, you're anti-Star Wars, anti-Disney Star Wars. She wouldn't go near you. She'd probably screw Movie Bob before she screwed you.
Thank goodness. Because, when I sleep at night, I'm kept up by the nightmares that are caused by her makeup movie review tutorial. Oh, God.
I'm going to look like a crazy peacock today. Like, no, stop it.
So I'm going to put on 25,000 different kinds of makeups. And it's like, I'm going to look like a fucking psychopath as I put these on. I'm going to look like a clown today.
So Maggie, good use of good fallacy? Phallus? I'm not sure what phallus is.
I know. Oral Master said, so does that mean Murphy died by a buckade? Jesus Christ.
Violent, comic, hyper-masculine hierarchy, we meet Murphy, a cop who begins the story desperately trying to perform cis hetero male identity in order.
What? How do you perform identity?
I don't know.
He's attempting. My best interpretation of this is he's attempting to act masculine, or maybe he's just being himself.
Well, okay. Let's say you're a guy and your role is cop.
Message
you
coming
identify as a cop.
Patching it through.
Are you performing as a cop? And is that cis heteronormative? If so, how is that good or bad? That's just normal.
Also, how does Lewis fit into that paradigm? Because she is certainly not a cis hetero white man.
Yeah.
She might be hetero cis female, but that's how she's classified.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever a distinction of her sexuality. So why is there a distinction of sexuality with Murphy?
But she's pulling this out of her ass.
Well, we know that, but that's what they all do. They always pull shit out of their ass going, look at this identity of this character, and he's enacting his own identity in his role as a cop. You're like in a male chauvinistic world. You're like, what? This is Robocop. It's a bunch of guys with guns and robots with guns shooting each other.
They go bang.
Yeah.
To convince Emily that he's worthy of the titles husband and father.
And you don't want to disappoint him.
We see him spin his guns to impress his son, whose respect Murphy hopes to gain by acting like the famous tough guy action hero on TV. But this desperate attempt to claim masculinity is continually subverted by the narrative.
Wait.
Why?
Because he gets shot, therefore he's no longer a good dad? What? What's wrong with...
He's trying to be heteronormative.
What's wrong
and
with...
then he dies.
What's wrong with spinning your gun? That doesn't make you a guy.
It's a good trick. Spinning's a good...
Yeah, it doesn't make you a guy. Oh, what's masculine about spinning a gun? What the hell are you talking about? I don't... I'm like at a loss for words. Like, what are you talking... Where are you going with this, Maggie? Spinning a gun...
The heteropatriarchal... He wants to impress his son by spinning a gun. Even though it's a deadly object, maybe.
His son likes watching that show. He likes the hero on the show. His dad's a cop, just like the guy in the show. And he spins his gun too.
Well, obviously it's a bad thing that he tries to do something that his son likes.
I guess.
For his son.
It's so heteronormative. Jesus.
Because it's a gun.
Can you give Murphy anything?
Maybe it's just because he's glorifying like copness, but then like as like he does his job, he gets killed, or at least like severely debilitated, and has to be put back together with like computer.
Yeah, but that's not subverting anything. How are you subverting a father by killing him? Yeah.
Dunn.
What?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Shiny. We can hear you.
What's up? We hear you. What's up?
We can hear you.
Anyone there?
Yes, Shiny.
Oh, dear.
I can't hear anyone.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you?
Hey there, Shiny.
Oh, I can hear you now.
All right, I just switched servers. Okay.
Okay, I'm fine now. That was weird. All of a sudden, you started going robot, and then I didn't hear anything. It's like, can I do that?
I could hear you just fine.
All right, good.
We're back. All right. Jake the Surgeon. I'll take the hit, guys. When I'm done with her, she'll know her role. Oh, isn't that great, Jake? Taking one for the team. That's fantastic.
Message coming in.
Do your best, sir.
Ride that cowgirl, babe.
Yeah,
ride that cowgirl, boy.
Get lots of babies out of that one. You'll want as much crazy as you can get.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable right now.
Joe Crazy. Remember, guys.
That's my...
If you get shot, you are no longer a good dad. Yeah, apparently. my expectations about being a father were subverted. Like, what? I'm dead.
As I mentioned earlier, there's a duality between Murphy and his female counterpart, Lewis, where staring into her face seems to be the key to reacquiring his own identity. On top of that...
No. Maybe it causes him to think that he's not just a robot, and it jogs the memory, But just looking at her doesn't do it. No. It's the questions he's asking.
Obviously, when he looks at her, he's obviously objectifying her. Obviously.
Well, the thing is, he objectifies everybody isn't. I think it's just he objectifies everybody because he thinks of everybody as meatbag.
Yeah, they're all possible targets if they break the law.
At the end of Act 1, when Murphy gets murdered, he isn't just killed. He is savagely attacked by a pack of men.
Men!
Bunch of men.
Fucking men.
Assassin's
He's
Creed
savagely attacked.
wasn't killed.
They attack
murdered.
him with his masculinity. They use masculinity against him, guys.
That's the tonal loc approach to titling your video past few years. God of War wasn't killed. It was murdered by the men.
Penetrate his body with their long guns.
They penetrate. Okay,
they penetrate him with their long guns.
Jesus.
Okay.
Their penis guns.
Yeah. Are you having some problems there, Maggie? Are you got something going on in your head that you got to tell us? Oh my God. I guess the guy without the long gun, he's doesn't have a problem with his gun. It works just as well.
In fact, if we step back and take a look at the structure of Robocop, it's modeled after classic rape revenge movies like...
Rape revenge movies?
What the hell kind of genre is that? I've read my share of revenge stories. I don't remember revenge and rape. I remember murder-suicide movies or stories. That happens in real life. But rape revenge? No.
There's a lot of like female rape revenge movies, I think.
Okay, maybe she'll list them. Yeah, maybe she'll list them. Let's just keep going.
I spit on your grave.
Where the female main character is violated.
Your ass is mine.
Then exacts revenge on your attacker.
Oh, this is awesome! Look at this!
What the... No, but it's like... He's raped. Your ass is mine, and that's it. That's what? No, he just gets. It's also because you should be called a revenge story at that point, but I'm not even sure if it's that much of a revenge story.
This is amazing. Look at this. She was raped on a boat, and now she's back with an axe and an engine, and she's gonna come after you on the lake. Okay. Is she gonna joust someone with an axe? Like, what's she gonna do? Come to starboard. Your hull is mine.
All Master agrees with me. It's like, yeah, it's just a revenge film at that point.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Robocop is a grape revenge movie. Yeah. Oh, this is a great. Look at. I don't know where she got this movie from, and holy shit! Look at this. She's jousting someone on a boat with an axe.
And looks like she's either in a bikini or nude.
Oh, she's nude. Yeah, she's totally nude.
I think she was in a bikini because she was in a bikini last
season. Oh, yeah? Okay.
One after another.
This woman will soon cut, chop, break, and burn 5 men beyond recognition.
In Murphy's...
What kind of movie is that?
I think Maggie Mae Fish's fetish.
Yeah.
Film.
Oh my God.
Fish.
That was one of those like weird slasher flicks from the 70s, but with a woman. This woman's going to destroy.
We're gonna hit LiteratureDevil should be coming on soon.
Wow,
great.
Yeah.
That's wild. Holy crap.
Don't know why he would want to be here, but
because Maggie Mae Fish is a spiritual experience that all men must experience.
I don't know about that. I kind of wish I could have a little less experience for her right now.
Well, I didn't say it was good. I just said it was spiritual, as in it's good for the soul to suffer.
It's not good for the soul at all.
If that lady was like riding that boat with like a bull, like with the, she got the reins and she's got the axe in her hand, that would have been amazing. I mean, oh my God, I want to see that film.
You know what? Oh yeah, I unironically want to watch that movie because it looks like it's amazing.
You're gonna murder 5 people with an axe. And you know how.
quest to chase an external ideal and become the ultimate tough guy cop. He is transformed by external forces into a cyborg, a hyper-masculine ideal, a form...
Wait, a cyborg...
Hyper-masculine is robotic with no feelings.
Yeah, I don't think so, Miss Maggie Mae Fish. I think being a living tank...
like an example of, like, toxic masculinity, I guess?
I don't know. I don't know how impenetrable tank equals hyper-masculine when most of your humanity, let alone your masculinity, has been removed. So, Jake the Surgeon, I Spit on Your Grave is actually pretty brutal and disturbing. Yeah, it looked very disturbing, yeah. If you're jousting with an axe in the lake on a boat in your bikini, that's pretty wild. So.
That the authorities have decided he should inhabit.
Well, he signed the release forms when he joined the force. He's legally
Message
dead.
coming in.
We can do pretty much
Patch it through.
Instead of just becoming the real man he thought he wanted to become, he becomes more than a real man. His new body is a construction of society's view of what Murphy's ideal...
No, he's not. Society didn't make him. One corporation did. Oh, dear. Now, the marketing could make it imply that it's like the next generation of cop and this is for society, but it's not the other way around. Jake the Surgeon.
If he's got no identity, then he has no masculinity because he's not masculine. He's a fucking robot. Robots aren't masculine.
Therefore, he is not trans.
No. Jake the Surgeon. The trailer doesn't represent the film well.
Patching it through.
Well, we only saw a few clips from Maggie, and she got so excited over it, and I don't know how she associated that film with Robocop, but all right.
Well, because apparently a revenge story is just like a revenge story. But that would be what the film she just showed. That would be a revenge story, not a rape revenge story. I don't know why you need to classify it down. And then you say this other possibly revenge story is like the same as another revenge story, then identifying it as something else. It's like if I called action films a pseudo action film, and then we have another action film, and then I just apply that random title on the end of it. It's this is just like pseudo action film, but it's not an action. It's not a pseudo action film. It's just an action film.
Yeah, the classic example is Titus Andronicus, but one of the female characters gets raped, so it's not what the hero does; it's what happens to their daughter that causes them to motivate them to do other things. So. Yeah, I don't know too many rape revenge movies, honestly. So, don't know where she's getting that.
I guess. What are some?
Yeah, I can't think of any.
There's like Spartacus, I guess, but it's only specific characters in Spartacus, and none of them are the main character.
Yeah.
Representation should be. He becomes exaggeratedly masculine, as if...
Oh, no, he's just
exaggeratedly masculine.
He's just a big hulking tank. That's all he is.
If he's granted his wish, but as part of a devil's bargain, where he didn't quite get what he expected.
He never bargained.
He's transformed into a bizarre shadow version of his desired self. In fact, he becomes comically and ironically masculine. The gun he...
So wait. He's still masculine, ironically masculine, but now comically so? Maggie, which one is it? I'm lost. I don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
He fetishized earlier as a symbol.
He's not fetishizing the gun. He's just spinning it.
Obviously, no, he really wants to fuck that gun, that phallic gun.
It's a nervous tick.
I wouldn't say it's nervous tick. It's just it said something he did for a habit he's done because he wanted his son to look after him because he liked this character on a film or something. So that's cool. That's a nice little bit there. It's like, he's done something for his child because he wants his child to look up to him. Yeah.
No. He's fetishizing it.
No, he wants to fuck it.
This is obviously a phallic thing that gets him off whenever he plays with it, okay? That's what's really happening. He's identifying sexually with a inanimate object.
of masculinity ends up
and it's a fetishization of masculinity. Whoa, where are we going?
Because it's a phallic gun. She's going to say it's because it's phallic.
Let's just try that again.
version of his desired self. In fact, he becomes comically and ironically masculine. The gun he fetishized earlier as a symbol of masculinity ends up replacing his genitals. His massive weapon.
What?
Okay. Just to tell you this, Maggie Mae Fish, your genitals aren't stored in the side of your fucking thigh. Your outer thigh. Your outer leg. Whatever. It's not like I don't. It's located in his leg.
My penis is now my high-powered handgun. This is a male fantasy.
I mean, I would give her a point if all of a sudden, out of his crotch, a gun just appears. But it's not.
What, like what? Like how it doesn't tell From Dusk Till Dawn with Sex Machine, where you just Tom Savini just has a gun on top of it.
Just a fucking pistol, like, kind of comes out of his crotch. Okay, that I would give you is replacing his penis, but it's in his leg. His penis isn't replaced because it's not what.
You know, I'm wondering if Maggie, when she went to her therapist or whatever she does, was the therapist giving her vocabulary to study and go, oh, that's a Freudian thing. I'm going to go read about Freud. Oh, wow, that makes so much more sense now. And then she just kept reading Freud, and now everything's like sexual imagery and fetishization. And it's a gun. It's a penis. It's bullets. It's sperm. I was like, no, Maggie, stop. Oh, dear.
Weapon is a perfect symbol of masculinity in a society that respects hyperviolence.
No, well, yeah, it does because it's hyperviolent, but that doesn't mean it respects it. It's a crime-filled world. It's a horrible rendition of Detroit. So I don't think it means that. I think anyone respects violence because it's violence. It's death. You don't go, oh, wow, someone just lost their head. No, you freak out. I don't know. This is so weird. A city respects violence. Everything respects violence. Every living organism is terrified of violence.
As a super masculine machine, he's even got a second phallus, the computer jack that protrudes.
Oh my God.
Okay. On your hand, that's not a phallus. I would say it's not even a finger.
Any long pointed thing is phallic.
A spike is phallic. I don't know how, but okay. Thanks, Maggie.
From his knuckles, and yet neither of these phalluses function sexually.
Maybe, just maybe, they're not phalluses, Maggie. Maybe, just I don't know.
There is that distinct possibility.
Do you know that
or maybe they're just because when you fire a gun, it penetrates someone's body. So thematically, a gun is like a key because when you shoot someone, it unlocks their death. So it's all about guns are very thematic.
So we have two symbolic phalluses that aren't used sexually. It's like, what if they're symbolic? Then why would they even be attempted to be used sexually? So what does it mean to have symbolic phalluses? I don't know.
Someone's saying this is the weirdest Smudcast. Is this weirder than was it the
Saurian Cinema?
Was it? Yeah, the dinosaur.
That one. I
think
monstrous
femininity and monstrous transgenderism, and then like trying to like the seat belts and tying the two female ends together was him wrestling and making
recalcitrant sisters obey him.
Yeah, think of that as a really well written, crazy essay, whereas Maggie Mae Fish is just sort of winging it, but she's just as crazy, and it just like you can't really measure insanity when everything is nuts. The difference is one guy wrote a book about it. And Maggie Mae made a video about everything she does, which is crazy. So
She's very stream of consciousness as opposed to a structure that is terrible, but it's at least some measure of structure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Stream of consciousness is a very specific style of communicating an idea. And Maggie is just throwing things together, and you're just like, stop, slow down.
They aren't just not
slow note her.
Yeah.
Non-sexual, but violent instead of sexual.
Okay, this makes no sense. So, the object, which is a phallus, which is not sexual, is violent instead of sexual. Maybe it's not sexual, Maggie. Maybe
because he plunges into a dude's face.
Yeah, it's like the gun is not sexual. Maybe it's not sexual, Maggie. Maybe it's actually just violence. Maybe. Like if it's doing the thing that it's not doing, maybe you're wrong. It's like a tree is not a dog. Oh, look, the tree is doing a tree thing. Maybe, just maybe, it's not a dog, Maggie.
Robocop's lack of conventional genitals is even
Oh my God, that's a sentence she wrote.
Robocop's love of conventional genitals.
lack of
conventional. So she's implying his genitals are his gun and his data spike.
Oh yeah, he's really gonna go up to some women and give them a good data spike. Ooh, get in there. So fucking dumb, Maggie. You're a fucking crazy person. It's like, and this is if you're making a character who is masculine according to you, and then according to you, you make them more masculine. That's not transgender. Because a transgender is someone who is changing genders. And do you want to know something which Robocop isn't doing? He isn't changing gender.
and played as a gag. Murphy's flashbacks also problematize the masculinity he hoped.
Whoa.
Problematize?
Is that a word?
What the fuck is problematize?
I thought it was problematic.
No, she said problematize.
Yeah, I know, but problematic was what they invented. So, problematize verb, make into or regard as a problem requiring a solution. Okay. Sure, that is a word.
To achieve. These flashbacks show Murphy struggling with his new hyper-masculine identity.
Oh my God.
Or maybe it's a flashback to his life and he's struggling with his identity. Maybe it's possibly that, Maggie. Maybe that's what the film is. And maybe while there is some deeper things in this film, this is not one of them. Maggie, just stop and just take a moment to listen to what you are saying. You don't stop. Sometimes you just need to stop and realize you are saying some really outlandish, crazy things, like Robocop gun replaces his penis. That is not in the film. You can't say that's symbolic. It is not there. I'm sorry. There is nothing in the film that suggests that that is replacing his penis. It's a gun in his leg. That's all it is. Oh, look, it's convenient to have a gun stored on your leg. It is no different than having a holster on your belt. You are fucking crazy.
I love it.
This has been Talks with Shiny.
Yes.
Why do you want to watch these?
Because they're hilarious.
They're amazing.
She's insane. It's not amazing. It's painful. It is fucking painful.
Because it's hilarious.
In the realm of listening to crazy people, this is my favorite.
Funny.
This is absolutely fantastic.
Patching it through.
Like with Renegade Cut, he's like too sort of blasé, like, oh, this is just capitalism and this is people. It's like, okay. Maggie Mae, it's like, oh, this is clearly a sexual object. I'm like, what? Why?
Alternatively, like when we watched Mundane Matt, I remember like you got really frustrated and it's like I was just laughing my ass off and
I think I hate stupid people.
It's now the opposite way around. Like, you're laughing your ass off, and
Monday Matt is just brainless, and Maggie Mae has ideas.
Yeah, he's brainless, but you can at least I can laugh at him.
With this, okay, when I read scripts or when I read people's interpretations of media, it's totally either missing the mark or they have enough. So when they have just enough to make sense and they spin it around to some crazy angle, that's when I drives myself nuts, because they should know better to what to follow in the script or what to follow in the lore that they understand, and instead they take it the opposite direction and go off in their own world. And it drives me nuts that someone would do that. With Maggie Mae, she's already gone. She's already like, oh, this is clearly the patriarchy, and this gun is a penis. It's like, whoa, okay. What perspective, what lens is this? It's definitely not feminism. That's not what feminism looks at. Maybe third wave or fourth wave, but it's not as insane as this. So combine.
I think Maggie Mae Fish at this point is something far beyond third wave.
Combine it with postmodernist approach to Freud, maybe, and you got somewhere along the lines of, because it's always sexual with Maggie Mae. It always is, and it's creepy whenever she talks. When you see her face, and she, like with the makeup thing, that was like she was getting really aroused about stuff. I was like, what is wrong with this lady? Like, what's going on? So
because her headspace is a crazy place to live.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine like waking up to her and like talking to her about anything? It's like, whoa, what are you talking? Like, where are you going, Maggie? I'm just thinking of making breakfast, not taking apart the patriarchy or whatever. It's just no. So Joe Crazy. Oh no, a father thinking about his family. He must be questioning his masculinity. Yeah, apparently. A guy who's lost his life and brought back to life as a machine, having flashbacks is his quest for masculinity or something. I don't know.
A visual metaphor where he passes through a female body.
Oh boy.
That's hilarious. Passes through a female body.
It's called a fade.
Purpose? Let's see. I want to see what's up next. What's up next, please?
Oh, because
that guy, he's a eunuch. Yeah. He's female, I guess. Like,
so the fade effect of him forgetting or losing the imagery is him passing through his wife's face, and then cutting to another scene or fading into another room.
He's not transitioning to his wife. Like, he's not becoming his wife.
Okay, that's crazy.
This is kind of amazing. This is amazing. How did anybody think that this would be a good idea?
This is so cool.
At the midpoint of the film, Murphy's goal changes from the desire to become this hyper-masculine figure that his son and society wants him to be, to answering the question, who am I?
I think there was
it's
always
kind of a typical thing of most AI stories.
Yeah, it's like, what am I? Who am I? Where am I? Where did I come from? What am I trying to do? It's pretty standard stuff. It's not, how masculine am I without a penis now that I'm a machine? It's like, I don't think that ever happened to him. I think the human element was on display the entire time of, where am I? Where's my place? Who am I? Do I feel anything? And when he does feel something, when he does try to remember something, that matters so much to him. And it's not some weird associative sexual thing. It's not, oh my God, I can't pleasure my wife anymore. No, it's just, I'm a human. I used to have a life. This is it. That's all it is. It's deep. It's not that deep, though. All right. Tyler Preston, Maggie, a cigar is just a cigar, ain't that deep. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It does have one layer of meaning, and it's clear and easy to grasp. It's such a good film. You know, it's not just surface level. There's enough to talk about with Murphy being a person, or still having the person in the machine. And I think that's a good idea.
In the next beat on Robocop's journey of self-discovery, we see a world-class husband mug on the counter. But it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title. And we never
What? No!
It's symbolic. I'll give her that. This is fun.
It's symbolic, but she's taken it in a completely other fucking direction.
I don't mind that. See, I can get away, or I could accept that idea. If this is a dreamscape or he's having problems remembering and there's some visual cues, I'm okay with that. That's totally cool. Because you know what? There's words.
Hey, LitDev.
Hey, LitDev.
Finally made it.
Oh boy, you missed a lot of good stuff. Oh my goodness. We went from guns are phallic and data spikes are phallic and
guns are pretty phallic.
And masculine and like see the gun is replacing his penis. Even though the gun's in his leg.
And even though the gun doesn't do anything sexual, or the data spike does anything sexual, it's still sexual. It's like it's still a penis. You're like, what?
He's fetishizing the gun.
Oh my god, he's spinning the gun. He's fetishizing. He's like, what?
I think I've already forgotten half the insane things she's been saying in this video.
Well, I don't
it's
remember
pretty
the
much
context
almost
of that
like
scene.
every 30 seconds. It's like
I mean, I don't remember the context of that scene, but the thing is with that cup, to me, I mean, wouldn't it? If this is dreamscape, he's kind of remember his past memories. Is that
a broken family?
No. Yeah,
if
this
you
guy
have
a
a
broken
mug.
man?
Yeah.
Yes.
This guy's a broken man, and his mug is broken, broken from his former life. Is that difficult of a symbol to interpret?
And this is basically
it's pretty surface level.
It's basically she's saying that it's broken masculinity is the way that she puts it.
No, Robocop is pretty masculine.
No. She's saying he's rejecting his masculinity.
What?
You're gonna have to show me how, because Robocop is pretty masculine. He goes in there, solves problems, fights bad guys, and is overall confident and awesome. How is he not masculine?
Okay, so what she's saying is that
Maggie.
at the beginning of the film, he wants to. Yeah, she's saying that at the beginning of the film, he wants to be masculine. He desperately wants it, like his kid. He wants to be like the heroes his kid sees on the TV. And then it moves on to like, but then he makes a deal with the devil, and then he gets his wish. But then he's hyper masculine, and then he starts to realize that this isn't something he wants anymore, and then he wants to not be masculine, and that's why he's a trans icon. This is all in the context of her saying that this is a trans icon.
Whoa, hold on there. Wait a minute. I think you skipped a few things there. Wait,
I wish we were, but it kind of is.
You went from rejecting he's rejecting masculinity to, and that's why you trans icon. Wait a minute, like trans icon.
No. Funny enough, she started off saying he's a trans icon, and then she moved on from there to then explain this stuff.
But he's not though. He's like a cyborg. He's not a trans guy. He's a cyborg. That's different. He's like he's a man who gave up, who extracted all of his human parts to be more manly. That's Robocop. How's it rejecting masculinity if you just embrace it fully? That doesn't make any sense.
Then she made a big deal about how he's both Robocop and Murphy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, kind of the point.
She brings up the question. It's like, is he Murphy? Is he Robocop? Well, actually, he's both. And that's symbolic of the title. You see, he says he's Murphy, and then the title says Robocop.
Yeah,
it's like,
whoa, hold on there. Slow down there, Jethro. Are you trying to tell me that Robocop is about Robocop? That's insane.
And it happens right at the end of the film where the credits roll, but before the credits roll, it says Robocop.
Who's Robocop?
Whoa.
This guy? Could it be this guy possibly? No, it can't be. It can't be. Well, he's both Murphy and Robocop, and it's the same Robocop from the title. Yeah. My mind has officially been blown.
Okay, let's. We're going to be here for a while just because we know how this is going to go in the next few minutes. So.
Oh man, Left Champion just messaged me, Dunn. I want you to know that right now I utterly loathe you.
Do we get the pitchforks now or later?
Both.
Yeah.
If he's a trans icon, anything can happen.
We have self-discovery. we see a world-class husband mug on the counter. But it's shattered, as if someone has violently rejected that title. And we never see...
Maybe he didn't reject it. Maybe if this is in his memoryscape, his dreamscape, and he failed in his job, maybe that he doesn't believe he deserves that title anymore because he failed his family and he failed his kids. Judging from the fact that he wanted to be the hero. He wanted to be the dad, the heroic dad to his kids. Maybe the shattered mug means that he failed. That he believes that he failed, that he believes that his family's broken, that he's broken something away from his humanity. It could be all those things, but rejecting masculinity, that's kind of a stretch there.
I think she associates masculinity with parenthood or fatherhood, but she never actually said that. So if she just used the proper words, I'd be like, okay, you could say fatherhood, and that would also be masculine and parenthood, or parenthood.
Isn't she on The Escapist or something?
Oh God, I can't imagine.
I don't think she is. I know she was on Wisecrack.
Oh, there
she
it is.
On
Wisecrack
one.
Wisecrack.
Yeah.
Specifically to post her shipping fan fiction between Padme and Obi-Wan.
Oh.
So Movie Bob got fired from Escapist, but she still has a job at Wisecrack.
Yeah.
I guess she collaborates with Wisecrack or something.
See who shattered it. And then we see this photograph from Halloween.
I thought it was because the
Murphy's son
escapist
is
died.
in costume, but the parents are not. Or are they? Murphy is performing the role of cis, male, hetero husband.
Okay.
Oh my fucking God.
Because it's a Halloween photo, and he's not dressed as anything. Therefore, he's actually dressed as a cis hetero male.
Okay, Maggie, have you noticed something? On Halloween, generally at Halloween, what happens is that when the kids go out trick-or-treating, the parents are just there to look after the kids. They don't usually dress up. They usually just walk with their kids while they trick-or-treat to make sure that they're safe.
Well, this job is a lot easier. Just make up random nonsense and make it seem profound, and then just put on the YouTubes and then get paid for it. That sounds way easier than actually looking into things.
Having an active imagination and just spouting whatever's on the top of your head with vocabulary that feminists and postmodernists use, you're going to find an audience, and they're going to gobble this shit up. It's hilarious. It's amazing.
Maybe once again, this picture represents his shattered past. The fact that his past life is gone. The shattered mug represents his failure as a father, or his failure as the heroic dad. That part is pretty clear. Maybe this destroyed picture, this shattered picture, represents the family he once had, and how it's no longer there.
Because the shooting of Murphy was metaphorical rape because the guns are phallic.
Oh yeah, she compared it to this slasher flick from the 70s where this woman takes revenge on 5 men who raped her or something.
Yeah, she said Robocop is in the style of a rape revenge story.
Which I didn't know that was a thing.
It's not, though. It really isn't. It's not.
If anything, it's just a revenge story.
Mainly because, from what I remember of Robocop, he wasn't raped. Maybe Maggie and I watched different versions of Robocop.
She says that the raping was when he was brutally murdered.
Yeah, it's very easy when it's is this down to symbolism? Oh, sure it is. You can make up whatever you want when it comes down to symbolism. That doesn't it? Unless you just watch the porn parody. I don't know. Maybe I watched the action movie and she just watched the porn parody. She thought she watched the action movie.
I think porn would be too direct for Miss Sensibility here. It would be like, oh, well, this is clearly not a phallic imagery. This is literally phalluses, and there's no guns, so I can't symbolize what a phallus would be when not held by... Yeah, some bizarre explanation if she could criticize porn. I'm like, oh, God, can you imagine?
these types, like these Maggie Mae Fishes and the movie Bobs and the Jack Sanes, they just love their symbolism. They love it because symbolism, they can take any inane detail and they can twist it into whatever they want. It could be anything. It could be even a free freaking boat. It could be whatever they want, and they can make it sound reasonable and profound because all you require is faith. You don't actually have to have evidence to back it up.
Okay, here's a wonderful super chat Aya
Oh my
Parka,
gosh.
1138. Would any of you date Maggie Mae Fish?
No.
No.
I think I would go
No.
out for a first date just to try a restaurant that I've never. I do this all the time. I go to a restaurant to meet someone new, and I end up dating the restaurant more than I date the person. But through eating, I get to know them, or I get to talk to them and get to know them, and discover how crazy they are.
Message coming
Hopefully, the first 20 minutes.
Patching it through.
So, yeah, no, it happens very quickly when you talk about politics or physics or science, and they don't know anything, and their mind gravitates to what they know. So that's a good way to find out. But I think
that one picture someone posted a long time ago on Facebook or Twitter, where it's a woman and she's like, "Oh, waiting for my date to arrive. Going to ask him. First thing I'm going to ask him about is feminism and stuff like that."
I don't mind.
Good luck with that.
I don't mind philosophical conversations. I think that's a good idea to talk to someone philosophically to get to know them better. I think it's a great idea. But once you understand where they're coming from and they don't have a 2 iotas of brain matter to rub together aside from talking about women's rights and trans rights, and it's like, okay, this person is clearly not someone to talk to about Plato and Aristotle.
Well, generally, you want someone who isn't going to be screaming about politics in your face.
Well, screaming about anything, really. I've met my share of very.
You want someone who can actually be a person and isn't going like someone who can actually, act. I'm trying to think the best way to phrase it. Really, someone who can relax and not be obsessed with like politics or be obsessed with this, that, and the other, and they can function like well, and they're not going to be obsessed. Because generally, one of the things that you don't want in a relationship is someone being obsessed about something, like overly obsessed.
Well, what you want to do is see how they do under pressure, how they do with a little bit of alcohol in their system, how they react expressively. Like we laugh and we giggle and we say things, but we control ourselves. We don't just start laughing hysterically. When you're out with someone trying to have a good time and you're passionate about something, that's when you come out. So you have to like, oh, okay, and now I see why they're coming out. That's what I like to see. These people who reveal themselves.
Yeah, maybe if they start talking about invading Poland or something, maybe it's a no-go.
Yeah, that would be a biggie, yeah.
Husband, that costume. And floating over his shoulder, a witch. A grotesque female form haunting him. Only after we see this Polaroid do we see the Halloween flashback for the first time. Murphy's wife appears to carve a pumpkin. Except she's not carving it. She's tinkering with it, holding the carving tool like a screwdriver, as if she's constructing something.
Wow. Is she insane? Wow. Like, what is going on here?
Okay, so what it could be, it could be that in the scene, I think what happened is that, they have the actor pretending to carve it out because they already have the prop ready. But even then, I think what the scene is actually trying to portray is them carving.
Yeah.
Where's the psychopath going with all this? Like, what does that matter? It's weird person.
Let's just listen. Let's listen.
An identity. A pumpkin. This foreshadows the way that
trying to create an identity out of a pumpkin.
And it foreshadows something. Like, wow.
That's a sentence I don't think I've ever heard before.
Trying to create an identity out of a pumpkin.
The pumpkin memory is a foreshadow for something else. Yeah, I don't recall that. How does knife equal screwdriver or power tool?
That Robocop tinkers with his own head at the beginning of Act 3, drilling into his own mind and coming to terms with the loss of his past married life. He's constructing his identity. In flashbacks, we see that Murphy's wife is clearly upset about something.
I really have to tell you something.
Something was wrong with their marriage. It's fairly vague in the film, but with the themes of gender and identity so clear elsewhere, it's
No, they're not there.
Gender identity is not clear elsewhere. And they're not. They're just not. Like how whenever she brings in like an audio, like for audio evidence, it's like a split nanosecond, like of them like uttering one syllable, and that's going to be proving your entire point.
With all this talk about gender and sexuality in Robocop, I now want to watch her take on cats.
I think, like with Maggie Mae Fish, everything is about gender and sexuality. No matter what it is. brave little toaster about gender and sexuality.
She must be amazingly thirsty throughout the day. Just, penises everywhere. Everything's phallic to me. Oh, Jesus. You give it a rest, girl. Go get a boyfriend who loves you, please.
Captain Mercer. Tell me about your penis.
Joe Crazy. Later, guys, I'm going to go drive off a cliff. I just can't bear the thought of breathing the same air as this bint. I still love that bint.
Yeah, she crazy. She real crazy.
A fair suggests that maybe this spite was because of Murphy exploring their gender or identity.
No.
What? Okay, there is literally nothing you can infer about the scene. All you know is that they are upset. You are writing something that isn't there. There is literally nothing there, and you somehow manage to pull something out your ass in a scene where there is fucking nothing.
I kind of like this because it's a flashback and it's unclear, and we don't need to know what the purpose of the conflict is. It doesn't matter.
Message coming in.
It shows us that his memories aren't all roses. There's some humanity and reality to that, and that's why it's a great scene. It's simple.
Funny enough, people in relationships have arguments from time to time.
Oh, so here's
sometimes you order a really expensive item on Amazon, and then she complains that it costs too much, and then you say, "Well, if it costs too much, then maybe you shouldn't have bought that really expensive hairdryer."
And then all of a sudden, you're a trans icon.
So here's Evergen's. The complete memory is her urgently pulling him aside, then saying, "I love you." Okay, that's weird. That's kind of important to put into the video there.
Oh,
Maggie.
She's removing context.
Yeah.
Great. That seems like it's totally Maggie's MO. She totally removes context. Like the entirety of her daddy's video and Lord of the Rings videos.
Oh, boy.
What is wrong with you?
Maybe he wasn't being the man she wanted him to be. Before Murphy's death, Boddicker shouts at him,
Where's your partner? Where's your partner?
This can have two meanings. One, of course, being...
No, it's it's the police officer. It's not his wife. He's not desperately, where's your wife? He's a cop. And they're wondering where the other cop is. And that's it. There's no dual meaning. It's just asking where the other cop is. That's all it is, Maggie. That's all it is. Fuck off.
Being his cop, Lewis. But the other is his romantic partner. She is no longer there. And later, when Murphy is on the operating table...
Why would he be asking about his romantic partner?
Waving goodbye. And this can also have two meanings. One being that Murphy is dying and she is saying goodbye, except this is a memory. So it's already happened in the past. Maybe this is his...
So you're wrong, Maggie. It literally happens as a memory. Now, with memories, they could be muddled and they could be a dreamscape. So you could actually make that argument, but Maggie's saying, no, it's not. It's just a memory. So stop speculating when you just told us the answer, please.
Why
dual meaning?
Our headcanon is so weird that we don't want to entertain it.
It's like, I have the answer.
Reject your reality.
But
reject your reality and substitute our own.
Yeah, what the film is actually showing us, yeah.
As their marriage is ending, because Murphy has failed at living up to her hetero male ideals for him.
By getting killed.
Yeah, getting killed in line of duty is pretty manly. Okay, getting killed in line of duty is pretty manly. Okay, that's a manly thing to do.
I have failed as a cis heteronormative husband figure.
Failed as a buzzword.
Yeah, that totally went through his head. Yeah, for sure.
I totally failed as a hetero cis.
I wasn't man enough. if you were man enough, you wouldn't have gotten shot now, would you? Even though you were able to stop yourself from being killed, if you were just a little bit more man, you would have stopped yourself from being able to be killed. Apparently.
It was that one glass of soy he had at breakfast that got him killed.
Oh no! He just added he had some like the night before. He had like a Chinese egg fried rice, and they put soy into the rice. Just that couple drops of soy. That's what got him killed.
That's what I use for my short ribs.
Why?
Soy. It's good stuff.
His soy to testosterone ratio just plummeted.
It wasn't soy. It was soy sauce. So the distilled version, the vinegarized version.
Just as he failed to do so for their son earlier in the film. When the flashback of Murphy's wife is repeated at the midpoint, it's also clearly a different version of the memory, a different take. She conspicuously moves her arms in a way that's totally different from the other take, and her tone is softer.
I really have to tell you.
Or because there's just two different takes. And what the fuck is this, Maggie? Well, what are you now trying to construe? Are you finding out tells the context of the actual memory? And then you're picking out the fact that she's picking out that the two arms slightly off. But maybe that's because the memory was supposed to be either a different interpretation of a memory, because memories can get muddled, or it could just be that they took two takes for them, and then
maybe this is the one where she says I love him, but in both of them she's wearing a robe and nothing underneath it, so they're probably gonna bone because they married.
Fuck off, Dunn.
Oh, come on.
Shini's getting angry at everyone now.
Oh, come on. It's going to happen. It's generally what married people do.
They get angry and fuck. Yeah, that's what happens. He's using his hetero-cis normative nature to expand his dominance over the female love slave. That happens to be called
trans, though.
Wife. But he's trans, yeah, of course.
So the argument is that he was supposed to be like this manly guy, but he wasn't manly enough, so he became trans somehow.
Yes. Yes.
So Vegeta, right?
Yeah, so Vegeta. Apparently becoming a transhuman makes you trans. It's like, what? Or transsexual, rather.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Memory corrupted? Or is Murphy rewriting his memory as a version where his wife accepts him for who he is?
Okay, so now that he's a cyborg, he has read-write access to his hard drive.
So you see one idea of the memory, then you see the other. He's not doing a Kylo Ren where he brings his father back from the dead to forgive him. It's literally just a memory of her saying that she loves him. What? You're purposely getting this wrong. You can't possibly be misinterpreting this, Maggie. It's literally impossible to misinterpret this.
I would say this is akin to The Last Jedi, where we have those three memories of Luke. And the first one is this, the second one's that. And in this case...
Well, it's because first one is what we're told through Kylo Ren. Then the second one is what we're told by Luke. Right. And then the first one's what we're told by Luke. The second one's by Kylo Ren. And then the third one's the one that Luke really...
Which is the truth. Right.
Where he tells the full truth.
So in this case, it's the same idea where the first thing we get isn't clear. And it's literally a second take by the director, which is fine. It's so similar, it doesn't make a difference. We only see a little bit. And then the second take is the actual truth, where he sees the rest of it, where he's no longer traumatized, or sorry, he's probably more traumatized, so he's more aware of his senses, more aware of his feelings, and that plays out. Now you could say, well, maybe that never happened. It's all one projection. Sure. But I would like to believe that because he's remembering himself as the story goes, he's remembering more details clearer. So that's what I think is going on. And just because they did two different takes makes no difference to me.
Then, after cutting back to Robocop's visor, in a series of shots that recalls the scene where Lewis confronted Robocop about his true identity, we see...
just reminding me, apparently him looking into that girl's eyes, looking to her face, that was apparently him looking in a mirror.
Yeah,
because
Lewis.
Same hair, same sense of humor, apparently. Lewis apparently is a mirror.
Yeah. As well, one of the flashbacks, we were zooming in on this lady's face really, really close, and Maggie Mae thought that we were going through her body and becoming a female, as opposed to just having a fade cut, which was what it was.
I mean, that should be her name, like her new name, Maggie Mae Thought. That'd be good. I think
Maggie Mae
more,
Thought.
More accurate.
Maggie Mae Thought, as in THOT or THOUGHT.
The first one.
First one, okay.
Why are we here just to suffer?
Maggie Mae Thirsty. I think that was better. Okay.
Maggie may be thirsty.
Yeah. Oh dear.
God, save me.
I've seen before. I love you. And unlike
why her
the
last name is
Halloween
Fish?
Finally admit it.
Is that why her last name is Fish? Because he's thirsty like a fish. Like you drink water like a fish.
That would explain a lot of things. Everything she does is sexual or has sexual imagery. It's bizarre. It's creepy, but it's also kind of entertaining.
It's like a sexualized Renegade Cut, where Renegade Cut will just watch random stuff. And
I don't want to sexualize Renegade Cut.
But Renegade Cut will just do whatever. He'll talk about whatever, and he'll just add politics to it. Maggie Mae Fish will talk about whatever and just add sex to it.
Yeah, that's kind of true. Yeah. Oh, now that you've reduced it to that, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what they do.
Memory, which is prompted by a photograph. This memory is new to us, unprompted by sensory input. This female face fills the frame, mirroring Robocop's.
I want to point out this is not filling the frame. There is a lot of frame which isn't being taken up by the face.
It's also poorly lit, but that's probably intentional. So
what is he not supposed to have accepted about himself? That he's secretly a woman? I don't get this.
Or he's feminine, apparently.
Even though, from what I can see, there aren't really that many examples of him, aggressively asserting masculinity. It's just him being a guy. Just normal dude.
Shooting bad guys.
Just happens to be a cop. It's really strange.
Yeah.
But then he gets raped by phallic shotguns.
Oh, this Remington pump action. Oh, it's a rape scene. It's like, no, Maggie, stop that. Stop it.
He says, softly and sweetly, which is a pretty odd thing for a character to say in a Paul Verhoeven movie, known for being melodramatic, satirical, and cynical. If, as this series of shots suggest, she is Murphy's mirror, then symbolically...
She is not a mirror. She is not Murphy's mirror. How many mirrors does Murphy have? Every woman he knows is a mirror? It's his wife, and she says, I love you. What do you think is going to happen?
What about when he looks... if he looks into, to a face of just anyone else, is that just a mirror? He looks into a wall. The wall's a mirror.
Because he's at his son. The son is a mirror for his lost childhood.
He looks at a cat. The cat is a mirror to his character. He looks over the horizon. The horizon is a mirror of his character. He looks over to the asshole.
This is doing a wit and folly joke. How many mirrors? How many wombs?
You know what would be the ultimate hilarious collaboration would be Maggie Mae Fish and Wit and Folly.
Oh dear. Would that even would they be able to talk the same language? I don't even think so.
Someone just fucking please shoot me. just end it quickly now. That's all I ask.
Murphy is saying, I love you, to himself.
No!
No! It's a memory! What are you talking about? It's him slowly remembering more and more. It's so weird.
It's like every...
He's not saying I love my... He's not saying I love myself.
I love my life.
Oh yeah, I really love myself.
This is like every sentence she's saying is insanity. Every single one we paused. Are you crazy, Lee? Where is this coming from?
This is like... It's like Lady Gaga's Born This Way on, just constant loop in Maggie Mae Fish's head or something.
I don't know. It's just she went with this idea and just never stopped.
Perhaps accepting the female identity he's been desperately resisting up until this point in the narrative.
Please, by the end of this video, she has to acknowledge how fucking...
See, Hamlet is really resisting his female identity when he kills Ophelia.
Oh my...
When he's being penetrated by Laertes' sword, he's really having sex with him.
Oh my... Oh my gosh!
And you know in Shakespeare, all the men play women roles. Therefore, Hamlet's gay.
Hamlet is the big gay.
Hamlet is indeed the big gay.
Oh my gosh, this is so funny. This is absolutely hilarious.
He's resisting his femininity as a cyborg with no genitalia. That's amazing, Maggie. I never thought of that.
Yeah, because you're not insane.
Of course, he has two penises: the symbolic gun and the symbolic data spike. So he's not really.
It's all symbolic.
It's all symbolic. So he's embracing
his. This is actually confirmed symbolism in here. I think there is actually confirmed symbolism in Robocop, and it's like a bit acknowledged by the creators and everything. But it's actually pretty blatant. It's supposed to be he dies, he rises from the dead, and he basically it's the story of Jesus, more or less. That sort of thing. That one was pretty blatant. It's pretty in your face. I don't think they're going to go this whole super secret symbolism route where he's actually trans and feeling like he's a masculine failure, a failure in his masculinity. All this weird stuff that Maggie Mae Fish is dealing out. I don't think that's part of it. Because what is part of it, what's been confirmed, I believe, or more or less confirmed, is that he's supposed to be like an allegory for Jesus, or going through the following the heroic journey of Jesus sort of thing. So he tries to fight bad guys. He dies and is reborn as a savior, and that's around what he does. The symbolism is there more or less, but it's pretty blatant. It's pretty something you can actually see, something you can actually easily connect.
For sure. No, that makes a little more sense just because we understand resurrection from mythos. We see how it works. Someone comes back to have a second life, to have a second identity. And in this case, it's technology and very strange. We don't know the man-machine. We don't know what exactly the cybernetic connections are. We see a little bit that in the beginning where he learns to target and do silly things like that. But everything else is pretty standard. What if we can do this? This is what would happen. So he's a walking tank. He's fighting bad guys. And that's as simple as it gets. There's really not much too many layers until he starts getting flashbacks. That's when things start breaking down. And that's where we get the layers of meaning. But the layers of meaning are very simple. They're not complex. So it's not that deep. It is deep. It's just not as deep as you think, Maggie. At least what I can tell. Okay. Joe Crazy. Fishhead needs to see a shrink ASAP. I think she does. I think she has to. And then she just doesn't understand what they're saying. Or it's all psychobabble. It's all just wonderful terms for her to research and even misconstrue even more from Freud, which happens a lot to psych majors. So, yeah.
Well, we're reaching the end of the video. This is where there's the Sanderlanche where like Sanderson has this amazing climax, and it's all been built up to. This is the Fishalanche where she's bringing out all the crazy.
The Fishalanche, the avalanche of fish. Okay.
We cut back to Robocop, this masculine robot, now shrouded in darkness. The next time we cut back to the wife, we, as Murphy, enter her mind and pass through her body.
We're entering her mind through the camera lens. Woo! It's not a flashback. It's this metaphysical thing. Okay, that's great.
This female face, or head, or mind, is a passageway into something else, into an empty home, a blank slate, or a new beginning. Then, as Robocop continues...
She doesn't even know herself. It's just all symbolic. It's just this this thing that happened in the movie that I don't understand. It's like, yeah, you're right. You don't understand. Oh dear.
Continues through the home. A man's face on a computer screen asks,
Hey, have you thought it all over?
have you interrogated your own identity? After passing through the compassionate female face, Robocop smashes this computerized, mechanized masculine face. Symbolism.
What?
So is Robocop simply the
Masculine face? It's a guy. What?
That's just so it's basically he's like so she's using this as like examples of like how Robocop is trans.
Yes.
Why do I get like the feeling that it's kind of like this, almost the same as like those remember during like Gamergate or whatever, all these girls came out and said, "Oh, I'm totally a gamer," because they played like those mobile games or whatever. Yeah. Like, "Oh, I'm totally a gamer. I'm totally a hardcore gamer. I played like at least 10 hours of Candy Crush or something like that." So they call themselves gamers for that. Maggie Mae Fish, that whole symbolism thing just made me feel like she's like look, I'm a commentator. I'm totally a commentator. Look, symbolism right here. I can do it. It's real easy. No, you're just making things up. You're just making things up and making it sound almost look profound. Or
just saying it like it's obvious. Like,
yeah, like it's obvious.
Oh, look, symbolism.
I guess totally not something you made up.
I guess the video first we'll have to watch next month is her cat's video.
She's already a crazy cat lady, I assume, so I imagine that would be rather like, oh, I can name all the cats in the movie. Like, yeah, I know. I bet you could. Huh.
Story of a cop who is destroyed and then rebuilt as a machine? Or is it the story of a person whose marriage was already falling apart? A person who's...
Where you show a scene where the wife says, "I love you"? That's a marriage falling apart? Where a son...
There's a lot of scenes like that in a lot of movies.
where a son idolizes his son and thinks his dad is cool? What?
Son has already questioned their masculinity. A person...
When did his son...
How is his son questioning his masculinity? What the fuck?
How is he questioning his masculinity at all?
By wearing blue?
The son likes the spinning of the gun. The guy does the spinning of the gun. The son likes his dad because he spins the gun. That's logic.
Sons tend to like their fathers.
Yeah.
It's pretty common.
Same with daughters liking their parents. It's just everyone, the big family. It's like, wow, it's my lover, my daddy, my mommy, my loving family.
I want to know, everyone to know right now, I have some Jaffa cakes as comfort food.
And ends up embracing
it makes me feel better.
A person who navigates their own identity while society and corporate America violently force a hyper-masculine ideal on him. A person who, after being forced into a constructed metal body, rejects the product name and programming that's been forced on them.
No, they don't reject it. No, they don't. They're forced to follow the programming until that programming says... do not do this anymore.
Message coming in.
So he's 100% following his programming. It's just not as strong as the programming was originally because his memories are resurfacing. He's still Robocop. That Directive 4, he could not do anything to that officer of the corporation until the guy fired him, and then now he could. He was under orders. That was, she even admitted to that the hero, I actually laughed at this. This is a really good part of the film or the video. The hero of the film was the old man because he allowed Robocop to stop the bad guy. The corporate guy who started all this. I love that. Yay, capitalism. Ivan. Yeah, that was great. Ivan the Mad Vandal. I just remembered that Robocop did shoot a rapist in the D. So this is a rape revenge movie. That's true. He does. Yeah, he shoots the hostage through the dress, and it's the same height as the rapist or whatever, the hostage guy, and shoots the guy down. Because
I remember correctly.
Quickly. Yes. So, do you want to know what she says about the old man?
What does she say about the old man?
In the script, he is referred to as old man. And do you want to know what Maggie Fish interprets this as?
His dad?
She says, in the script, he's called old man. Yes, of course, because patriarchy.
Was that it?
Yep.
Why? Why is it even a point?
He's called old man, therefore patriarchy.
Maggie Mae Fish is an editor. Like she's really in need of an editor, really, really badly. Why would you even say that and leave it in the video? If you have, she made it 21 minutes. She doesn't need to push it to 10 minutes.
I remember
if I remember correctly in the movie, doesn't he stop other crimes besides rape?
Yep. Drug bus, bunch of criminals. Yeah. But I remember she said the heart and soul of this film was the boardroom scene where there's other women or other people aside from men.
Capital.
Yeah, at the boardroom scene. It's like, if that's I don't know how that's the heart and soul of the film. That doesn't make any sense to me. But if it is, and there's women there, that's not the patriarchy. That's men and women working together in a corporation.
Yeah, Smudboy is obviously the sexiest scene in all of Robocop.
Oh, well, no. There were no phallic weapons there, so no, probably not.
It's not looking hard enough.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Not enough.
Maggie Mae Fish could find some.
Yeah, I'm sure she could. Oh God, the chair is clearly a vagina. Like what? Oh, okay.
There you go. And the boardroom is clearly a womb.
Womb. There we go. That's bringing it all back. That makes lots of sense.
Tyler Preston said something really funny. If it was old woman, would Maggie say it's matriarchy?
No, it's still a patriarchy because she's old and helpless.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Person who repeatedly identifies with women.
It's you.
To wrap things up, Camilla Morel writes, cinema is very good at expressing universal ideas, which gender is not, since one's own gender is so internal.
How is gender not good at expressing sex? It's pretty universal.
Also, I have a question. Gender, since one's gender is internal, I would say no, it isn't. I can very easily point to a man and a woman based on their biological aspects.
Well, that was the same point I was trying to make.
And they don't even have to be nude in order to do so.
Yeah, you could be a feminine man and a masculine woman. That's fine. But gender is a good identifier of that because that's what they're based off. That's why we have transgender. If you don't have two absolutes, then you can't transition between the two. You can't have an in-between. There would be no gradation between A and B. So you have to have a universal or an absolute like male and female, which nature has.
Personal dynamic, and not often entirely understandable or consistent. Where transgender viewers often feel the most seen is in body horror and sci-fi films about robots and aliens. Transness on...
Even if that's true, so what? Even if that's true that you have aliens which are kind of feminine, kind of masculine, or both, so what? What's wrong with that? That's good. You want that in your horror stories, your alien stories, your sci-fi stories. That's character creation. That's
and it's the whole but it's also paying back to the idea that you need to see yourself in these fictional characters.
Yeah, but that's a whole other thing.
We talked about earlier.
You don't need to see literal genitals or literal ideas of male and female aliens to identify with an alien. That's silly. I remember one of the commentary from, was it Roddenberry or the guys who were working with Roddenberry saying, so long as there's eyes and mouths, that we can see the human aspects of the alien, we can create whatever we wanted. And that's why the problem in Star Trek is there's all these humanoid aliens running around. They all look humanoid. And we do that for dramatic reasons to identify with the faces and the emotions, even if it's tart.
Hey. Hello?
Hello?
You okay?
Smud, you died for a second.
There we go.
There? All right. Hello?
Yeah, you can hear you now.
Okay, good. Well, I was just trying to make the point that you need to show the face in some capacity, even with characters from Voyager. Remember the phage? Those aliens that had their deteriorating body and organs were all just ripping apart. And even though you couldn't quite see their facial expressions because of some of the characters had really heavy makeup, you still understood what was going on. And yeah, obviously Star Trek is a lot different than other sci-fi shows. And Murphy, all you see is his mouth. You need to have that human element to, at least visually, to understand them. And it's not identification. It's just seeing something you are familiar with. Okay.
On film isn't lingering genital shots and staring sadly at one's own nude reflection. It's processes. It's the horror and abjectness of wrong body and the turmoil and excitement of transformation. It's the physical, mental, and emotional complexity.
Well, it's because he's not in his right body. He's a robot now. That's not his real body.
So that means that he is trans because he is transmuted into a non-human body. And
trans
so it's
robot?
analogous to trans.
I mean, you could say the whole premise of the Metamorphosis by Kafka is a man who's being alienated by his family and society and turning into another creature. Like, that's a trans metaphor. It's a literal metaphor as well. So it's not about sexuality, though. And it doesn't matter. Why does this have to be about sex? Just because there are some people in the world that have dysmorphia? Is that it?
Because Maggie Mae Fish is talking about it.
I mean, sure, there are people like that, but that's not a big deal. And why do they need films about that? Why do we need symbolism about that? How does that help these people? Why do they need to identify with a cyborg? Like, why? I think cyborgs are cool, but they have absolutely nothing to do with sexuality or sexual identity or gender. Why couldn't the story just be about a man who lost his humanity and lost his past and was slowly discovering it? And that's it.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah, well, that would be too easy, right? Not deep enough for me. Need symbolism and
These
themes.
These people are so utterly useless to society that they have to solve their cognitive dissonance and justify their own existence by doing crap like this because they have no other use.
That would be part of it. You have to use that. What is it? Sociology degree for something? Got to apply to some hobby or such.
Film studies major.
Film studies. Oh, film studies. Oh God.
Film studies.
There's something I don't ever want to get in my life. I mean, I imagine when I turn 65 or whatever, and the university is free, I'll just do random shit. And just like, okay, let's study geology or something. I don't know, for fun.
Predictions that can be plumbed much more effectively by both filmmakers and audience with symbolic and allegorical means instead of literal ones. And honestly, I wouldn't be so adamant about
No one is stopping anyone from interpreting literal signs and symbols as allegorical or symbolic ones. Nothing. You could find that in anything.
It's just that some things are just crazier than others.
I would rather the actual writers allow that to happen naturally with actual symbols that are literal signs. That would be very clear, but they don't, and that's fine. It's more complex. You don't have to do that. I try and talk about this in my book. I didn't do a very good job. I realize that now. But I should probably say how symbols can work as signs and allow the audience to put two and two together in their own heads, as opposed to have it being a plot point or a mystery. So, visual
how Guillermo del Toro uses objects to characterize people very delicately.
Sure, like their favorite.
Uses very, very simple imagery to get his points across.
Right.
So I just to catch up, Dev, I remember what else Maggie Mae Fish said. So when it came, she said that Lewis was a actual real strong female character because characters like Amanda Ripley and
Ellen Ripley.
Ellen Ripley, sorry. Amanda's the one from Aliens Isolation. So Ellen Ripley and what's her name from Terminator? Sarah Connor. They're both, sexualized, fetishized mother figures.
They're just soldier moms.
I don't remember that.
Sexualized through the lens of James Cameronism.
I mean, they do the same things with men. I mean, Lone Wolf and Cub being one of the most prominent examples, probably, but you have modern examples too. The modern example probably be like at the moment, The Mandalorian, but they have a father figure, like the Mandalorian, a male guardian protecting a baby. Now, so you can do the same thing with mothers because they have different roles. I mean, both parents protect children. It's a common thing you can see. Women, it's actually called a trope. It's called the mother bear trope. where they the mother bear goes into action. You get a mother bear trope when you have a female character who's strong or who's fighting against an enemy to protect her child. It happens.
Another thing is that you cannot like bringing up the fact that they're sexually attractive. That's because you can have sexually attractive action heroes. Arnold Schwarzenegger, even not going too far away from Terminator. And going like sexualization. The Marvel films, in almost every single Marvel film, for the most part, until one of them, I can't remember which, there was a pointless shirtless scene with the male protagonists. Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. They've all had pointless shirtless scenes specifically for the female gaze.
Mm-hmm. Because they like that stuff.
You're allowed attractive protagonists.
Not when they attract men.
That's
if they make men happy, then that's bad.
Because a lot of women like sexualize and objectify Thor, but like that's fine.
Men don't generally cry about it, I guess.
There's too many men having fun. There's too many men enjoying visual imagery. It must be bad. It's like, what? Why?
Well, the nice thing is men can just go to swimsuit edition M-suit model videos on YouTube to get the rocks off.
Yeah, that's fun.
I hadn't just watched Verhoeven's Basic Instinct, which is a story of a woman who literally needs to hide her phallic object to avoid persecution because society doesn't approve of her personal relationships.
So, an ice pick is a phallic object now?
Everything's a phallic object. Everything.
Everything is phallic. Everything is phallic when you're Maggie Mae Fish.
Yeah, you get
everything is phallic when you're living on crazy.
You don't have to read Robocop this way, but if Donkey Kong can say
done right, okay,
why not add Robocop to the mix? Thanks for watching, and a big thanks, as always, to my patrons. We've been able to release these videos a little more consistently lately, and that is entirely thanks to the support from all of you. If you'd like to support, head over to patreon.com/Maggie Mae Fish. Plus, I'm gonna have t-shirts.
Please don't
soon,
support her. Don't
keep an eye
support
out
this.
for those. Say
Thought takes. There we go. Maggie Mae thought.
Wow. Wow.
Well, we got through it, guys. Amazing.
We only did it in like.
That was trying. Holy crap! Wow, that was just. This is how you we say anyone can watch a movie any way they want. I'm quite sure Maggie Mae is watching a movie any way she wants. But she does that with everything, not just movies. It's like everything has
She's watching movies wrong.
Yeah.
She's obviously watching movies wrong.
I'm beginning to agree with you. Like, well, maybe she is. Maybe she's like upside down and like doing calisthenics or something. I don't know. Whoa. That was apparently a scene from that what was it? Donkey Kong? Where is that? That was a scene taken from H Bomber Guy's DK64 100% stream. So whatever joke he was making there, it's kind of strange that we saw Donkey Kong. I'm not sure how she threw video games into that, but she did. Whew. Anyway, oh man, that was. I think we're full. I think our monthly quota has been reached. Thank you for sitting through with us. I know not all of you did. We have a lot less people in the stream now, because they probably couldn't take it. But I'm surprised Shiny's still here. LitDev, I don't know, you missed a hell of a time, but oh boy. So, thanks everyone for tuning in.
We'll just do our cats video.
What was that, Dunn?
I was saying we should do our cats video next week and see what insanity she brings up there.
Oh no, that's too it's too close. We gotta space it out. Maybe Christmas time. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, come on, for Thanksgiving, a Thanksgiving treat for our audience.
I don't think they like it that much. I don't think
it's a Maggie Mae Christmas.
Oh boy, I don't know if. Wait a second. Maybe we should.
Maggie, may she go away?
Maybe we should do it.
Maggie Mae Thanksgiving Charlie Brown.
Oh boy, can you imagine her playing the role of Lucy and trying to teach Charlie Brown an ethic about, I don't know, life? You see Charlie Brown.
Instead of the football, it's a phallic object. It's still a football, but she just calls it a phallic object instead of a football.
You could never kick the penis, Charlie Brown. It's always mine. I always take it away from you.
Oh.
Okay.
Watch American Desert, Breaking Bad, and Punishment, or Cats, or Superman Saves the Cat. She's got a bunch of them. Or we could finish watch part 2 of her daddy's video.
Oh yeah, that's right. We haven't finished that. I think we were done once we saw we were like, okay, that's enough. That's more than enough. More than enough what she's selling. Anyway, okay, that was almost 3 hours. Pretty good for Maggie Mae Fish for 20 minutes. Gotta say, it's pretty good, guys.
Yep.
We didn't lose our mind. I didn't use any alcohol. Feeling good. So, bravo, gentlemen. We'll see you guys soon. More recommendations, please leave them in the Discord, in the suggestions channel. Always a great thing to read. Check them out. Might do another Smud Talk this week. Not sure yet, but we need some suggestions for that as well. So please do that in the suggestions, comments, whatever you want to put them. I'll be listening. It's more off the cuff, so it's not as structured as other Smud shows. So, Fish, Snoopy is your mirror, Charlie. Oh God, yeah. Every female to Murphy was a mirror. Okay. Yeah, strange stuff. All right, gentlemen. Good night, and we'll talk to you real soon.